saw. This building was once the 3rd District Police Station in Bamenda. It was reportedly set ablaze by the angry demonstrators during the uprising. It is one of the sites visited by the delegation of officials from the National Commission on Human Rights and Freedoms. Here is the house where the protester, Mancho Bibixi, was arrested. It is alleged security operatives climbed over the wall and broke in. These are pictures of the uprising leading to the current unrest in the Northwest, especially the regional capital, Bamenda. The Human Rights Mission came to investigate allegations of abuses while encouraging peaceful negotiations in sorting out issues, like here at the Northwest Branch Office, where people from all walks of life, religious, traditional, and political authorities discussed the crisis, identified blunders, and made suggestions. It was the same exercise at the governor's office, where the commission had consultations with administrative and judicial authorities.
We need to make all the efforts necessary to ensure that both parties understand and that they take the necessary steps that will lead towards a quick resumption of education.
The people the commission talked to expressed the desire for a better society for all, for things to return to normality, and for the undercurrents of anxiety and violence to be stemmed.
The senior military officers, rank and file, and over 600 sub-officers of the Cameroon military from the National Gendarmerie, Marine, Air Force, and Rapid Intervention Units have been trained on penitentiary administration, secretarial work, information and communication technology, tailoring, woodwork, and mechanics. The aptitude certificates are expected to ensure more efficiency in the various departments of the Cameroon military.
It was not difficult. As for me, it was not difficult. It's something I saw in 2012. Yeah, so it was not really difficult. I'm satisfied with my stash because all things pass very nice. I get my backshot. I'm happy. I'm very, very happy.
The colorful ceremony that group family members, officers of the Cameroon military, was highly spiced by military march past and the award of diplomas to the best students in various disciplines.
The head of the CPDM permanent delegation, Belle-Luc René, came to commune with members of the party on some strategies to implement to revamp the party and ensure a better output come 2018 presidential election.
We want this section to participate for the winning of the election in 2018. That was the main message we forwarded here to the militants of this section.
To the president of the CPDM section in Nyong and Kele, Honorable Etienne Kakak, the only way to revive the party is by sensitizing the militants on some major issues, amongst them the importance of getting registered on the electoral list. He equally urged the militants to promote values of peace, dialogue, tolerance, and participate in the political life of their host division.
We have two main points. Economic first, to give some credit to our militants to make something, because we know that when you are hungry, you cannot work, and to sensibilize all our militants to vote for our party, that is to say, the CPDM.
The visit of the head of the permanent delegation to Nyong and Kelly also experienced the installation of some recently elected CPDM militants. The ceremony in Nyong and Kelly marked the beginning of a series of encounters between the heads of the CPDM permanent delegation to Nyong and Kelly.
freestyle. Exceptionally, well, from today onward, we shall have freestyle after the news at 6 o'clock so that a lot more of you can have the chance to enjoy the freestyle while we're responding to your calls. So from now on, freestyle is at 6 o'clock and retro clip, a throwback of music in the old days, will be at 7 o'clock. Now, for our freestyle, it's really a special one today. This is coming from Douala. It's probably the first one we're having from Cameroon, so please upload some more of our freestyle. Let's have it on Hello Cameroon. This is P Square's Bank Alert song, done on the streets of Douala. Please enjoy.
Girl, it's up to you, but I dey pray you say I do. Go tell your papa, say na me dey come for you. Iyo gogo, kaike na nke bishop na ega digo. Iyo gogo, kaike na nke bishop na ifa digo. Today na today. And when I finish, you go know, say na me, as you did the delay. To prove my loving, you must chop my money, cause my bank alerts na bagam, my checking on the bounce, my mansion on na badam, baby take a look around. My bank alerts na bagam, my checking on the bounce, my mansion on na badam, make you take a look around. Girl, it's up to you, but I dey pray you say I do. Go tell your papa, say na me dey come for you. Iyo gogo, kaike na nke bishop na ega digo. Iyo gogo, kaike na nke bishop na ifa digo. Like play. The person we want chop you run, they beg to stay. Them say I the grace, say which can love be this? They don't know how I feel. Baby say something, make we do something. Yeah, let me hear you say I do. Baby say something, make we do something. Yeah, baby more like it can be, cause my bank alerts na bagam, my checking on the bounce. My mansion on a badam, baby take a look around. My bank alerts na bagam, my checking on the bounce. My mansion on a badam, make you take a look around. Girl, it's up to you, but I dey pray you say I do. Go tell your papa, say na me dey come for you. Iyo gogo. Kaike na nke bishop na ega digo. Iyo gogo. Kaike na nke bishop na ifa digo. My checking on the bounce, my mansion on a badam, baby take a look around. My bank alerts na bagam, my checking on the bounce, my mansion on a badam, make you take a look around. Girl, it's up to you, I still the pray you say I do. Go tell your papa say, I need to go for you.
Frankie Roy, please do like him. That's a guy in Douala and his team. They just put together a freestyle video. They uploaded it on the 7th of January on YouTube. And here is it. We are bringing it to the world. Show us your freestyle talents. And maybe one day, you don't know, you'll be surprised. Enjoy it on Hello Cameroon. As I was saying, from now on, you'll be having freestyle at 6 o'clock. And your retro clip, your throwback to music in those days will be at 7 o'clock. After the news at 7 o'clock. Now let's go with the stars and the lady who does that so well. is standing by with this for us. This is Joyce Abigail with the horoscope.
Hello, good morning. We start with the first pawn of the house, Aries. Hello, Aries. Good morning. Aries, a man must be big enough to admit his mistakes, smart enough to profit from them, and strong enough to correct them. More people will learn from their mistakes if they weren't so busy denying them. Think about it. A famous Aryan is the Canadian musician and singer Celine Dion. Second born of the house is Taurus. Hello, Taurus. Good morning. Taurus, to the world today, you may be one person, but to one person, you may be the world. Today, Taurus, give out your all to that one special person and look forward to a beautiful relationship in the nearest future. A famous historian, Janet Jackson, an American singer, actress, and entrepreneur. The third born of the house is Gemini. Hello, Gemini. Good morning. Gemini, any fool can criticize, condemn, and complain. Everything you're looking for lies behind the mask that you're wearing. So remember, do what you can with what you have, where you are. A famous Gemini is Melanie Brown, an American singer, songwriter, presenter, TV personality, dancer, actress, and author. Fourth born of the house is Cancer. Hello, Cancerians. Good morning. Cancer, when you give up your own truth to win at someone else's game, at the end of the day, you are the true loser. Always put yourself in others' shoes. If you feel that it hurts, it probably hurts even more than you think. So think about others in the decisions you make today. A famous Cancerian, Tamara Tony, an American film, stage, and TV actress, as well as a producer. Leo, fifth born of the house. Hello, Leo. Good morning. Leo, the happiest of people don't necessarily have the best of everything. They just make the most of everything that comes their way. A famous Leo, Michael Early, an American actor. Virgo, good morning. Virgo, people excel and learn not because they are told to, but because they want to. Live one day at a time and make it a masterpiece. A famous Virgo, Idris Elba, an American actor. Libra, hello and good morning. Libra, do not undermine your worth by comparing yourself with others. Remember, you cannot discover oceans unless you have the courage to leave the shore. A famous Libra is Neil, an American singer, songwriter, record producer, dancer, and actor. Scorpio, good morning. Scorpio, happiness lies ahead for those who cry, those who are hurt, those who have searched, and those who have tried. For only they can appreciate the importance of people who have truly touched their lives. Remember, love begins with a smile, grows with a kiss, but then ends up with a tear. It all depends on you, because at the end of the day, the memories are worth keeping. A famous Scorpio, Gabrielle Union, an American actress and model. Sagittarius, hello Sagittarius, good morning. The brightest future will always be based on the forgotten past. You can't go on well in life until you let go of your past failures and heartaches. Ephemus Sagittarius is Jay-Z, an American rapper, an entrepreneur. Capricorn, hello, good morning. Capricorn, the first step in achieving prosperity and wealth is learning to appreciate what you already have. Take into account that great love and achievements also involves great risk. A famous Capricorn is Denzel Washington, an American actor. Aquarius, hello Aquarius, good morning. Aquarius, when you lose, do not also lose the lesson. Follow the 3 R's of life: respect for self, respect for others, and responsibility for your actions. A famous Aquarius is Kid Cudi, an American rapper. Last but not the least, born of the house is Pisces. Hello Pisces, good morning. Pisces, remember that not getting what you want is sometimes a wonderful stroke of luck. Learn the rules so you know how to break them properly. At the end of the day, do not regret anything. Pisces, don't let a little dispute injure a great friendship today. A famous Piscean, Queen Latifah, an American actress, rapper, songwriter, singer, and model. That is it as far as your horoscope is concerned today, but then we are thinking of those of you who are born on this day, and we are saying happy birthday to you. Now, let's talk about your traits. If you're born on this day, here are your positive traits. You're dependable and philanthropic. Now, these people are very popular and find it very easy to connect with their peers. You are people who are usually broad-minded, interested in learning new things, and sociable beings ready to help others in need. That is it as far as your positive traits are concerned. Now let's talk your negative traits. You are a strained and often erratic person. These negatives are not very conscientious, as their transformation and beliefs are sometimes based on individuals. You are also inefficient and easily distracted, although you understand the importance of work and performing it. You sometimes are cold and you detach yourself from the people who really care about you. That is it as far as your horoscope is concerned on this day. Do have a nice day and keep watching Hello Cameroon.
Thank you very much, Joyce Abigail, and happy birthday to you if today is your birthday. Of course, we have you very close to our heart, and we are hoping that you have a beautiful day and a sweet one. It's a story of faith on Hello Cameroon today, and we're looking for all manner of ways to transmit that faith to you. That everything you do, if you're going to succeed, it depends on how much you believe in yourself. We saw that in Gabon recently, and I want to share this thing with you. In the course of the program, I've selected 5 exceptional, according to me, exceptional things about faith that should get you standing up and moving forward with your life. Be faithful in small things, because it is in them that your strength lies. These are the words of a lady called Mother Teresa, who was born somewhere in Europe and who ended up dying with the poor in Calcutta in India, where she had decided to devote her life to serving poor people. There are 3 more coming your way. Stay with us. In a short while, we'll be talking about Big Hop. It's something about our high-tech slot you want to discover, so stay with us. And also, we'll be talking about bouillon cubes. You know, the cubes we put in our food to season the food, to make it taste good. We'll be looking at it in our eating healthy slot in a short while. But now there are 2 people who've traveled from Limbe to come talk about the laying of the foundation stone of their church. And we have Madame de Agnes, who is the vice chair lady of the Presbyterian Church in Maitu, Limbe. Hello, ma'am. Thank you so much for coming to the CRTV.
Thank you.
All right. And we also have Reverend Fokabo Divine, who is the parish pastor. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach.
And thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We're happy to have you here. Are you here to talk about the laying of the foundation stone of the church, which is going to be done by the moderator of the PCC? First of all, though, situate us, what is this event all about?
Thank you very much, Pochi. The foundation stone, or the laying of the foundation stone, is a spiritual and symbolic act of the church to prove that Jesus Christ is the one and only foundation laid. And so the moderator, by command of his office or authority, lays that foundation stone to establish the church in that vicinity. So it is like canonizing the church and making it a place for worship to God.
Okay. So in a way, I could say it's a new church coming to join, could I say that, the community of churches. Yeah. First of all, what is the place of a woman like you? You're the vice chair of that congregation. What is the significance that somebody like you will give to this event?
The significance I would give to this event, thank you very much, is that when Jesus Christ resurrected, he first of all met the women, and he gave the message to the women to spread about the good news to the whole world. And so, like the women of PC Mile 2, we are standing as one person to see that this church grows to where Jesus Christ expects it to grow. And we, as the church, as the women, the backbone of the church, we are going to support this activity spiritually, financially, you can name the rest.
Reverend, let me tease you a bit. I have a small concern. When churches are growing, we hear of new churches opening, we hear new persons getting into the family of consecrated persons, but we still have a lot of worry about moral value standards dropping. First of all, is that your opinion, that we still have a lot of moral challenges and social issues that the church could address? And what at the end of the day would you say?
Yeah, truly, like you rightly said, in as much as churches are coming up, the moral decadence is at a rife. And one of the dangers of spirituality today is because some hoodlums have used the church as a place to make money for themselves. They are not out to preach Christ, but they are out to preach themselves. But I think as the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon, our goal is to continue in the midst of the moral decadence to preach Christ and evangelize our society. We believe that in as much as the moral decadence is at its rife, but the message of Christ is still arresting souls and converting people for Jesus Christ. We are confident that one day the nation shall be claimed for Jesus Christ.
I like hope. Hope is, I usually call it, hope is the big piece of bread that Christ left and people are still eating it today. It doesn't finish. So, but Pastor, people whom you're expecting to come for this event, what do you have to tell them?
Yeah, all the Mile 2 Christians, the well-wishers, what we expect of them is to come support us that day, because we'll have a grand fundraising to complete the church house, to build a mass, and even the Sunday school hall for the children. So we invite them to come powerfully and support us financially, so that we are confident that God's work will grow in that vicinity.
Okay, as maybe the woman in the house, because that's how I'd like to see it as well. What are you promising those who are coming?
We are promising those who are coming. We are promising them comfort. We are promising that we have done everything for them to feel comfortable in this occasion. We really invite the whole of Limbe, why not Boya, which is very close to Limbe, to come down and see what the Mile 2 Christians have for them, so that they can also see the church house, how far we have gone, and so they can give us a lot of money.
Exactly.
So that we
talking
can
about making them comfortable.
this church house with.
Part of the reason they should be really comfortable is because you're doing a grand fundraising, Pastor.
That's true.
So did you want to maybe say a word about the fundraising and what you'll be doing with the money you receive?
Yeah, like I rightly said, our goal is to build a mass, the pastor's house. Our goal is to complete the church house and build the Sunday school hall for the children. And so the money is designed for that purpose. And we pray that if we realize our dreams, then we'll give God the glory.
All right. I hope that you realize your dream and everything goes on well. Thank you very much, ma'am, for coming.
Thank you,
and thank you too for coming. I have a question now which has nothing to do with what you've come to talk about, though. On Sunday in the evening, what were you doing? at about between 9 p.m. and midnight.
Wow, I was watching Cameroon make us proud.
Right, and yes, ma'am, you.
I did same.
You watched too?
Yeah.
Okay, I imagine there was a lot of hugging and jumping and screaming around you.
Yeah, the children all screamed when the second goal came in.
I had a 2-year-old in my house hugging everybody and calling everybody Cameroon, and I was like, yes, my baby, say Cameroon. Well, so what were you doing between 9 p.m. and midnight on Sunday? Please tell us. That's the question I have for you today. I really want to know what you were doing. Me, what was I doing? Well, like 8 o'clock, I was just watching TV. But by 9:10, I was unchained. I was loosened. I was like screaming, and I almost just forgot about my voice. Send your text messages and tell us what you were doing on Sunday at 667479043. If you're a regular watcher, you should have that number by now. But now let's talk about plant world. There's this plant called berry that I want you to discover. Our regular resource person on that bit, Parfai, is standing by to tell us. Please enjoy.
Welcome, CRTV. Hello is going to show you a wonderful plant today. You see this plant, we call it a meta mbarikam. In other languages, like in Manko, within the Widikum area, they call it a songkwap. That is the teeth of Gambe, the teeth of seeing. It has, healing properties and metaphysical properties, or let me say spiritual properties. But today we are discussing mbarikam as herbal medicine. Look at it very, very well. Look at the flowers. There are so many people, mostly those getting to our own age, around the 70s, who complain of back pain, waist pain. Sometimes when they sit, you see, to get up, instead of just standing up like this, you see them, they shake and, this is your solution. Hello is presenting you with something that will help you. It is good. When you warm a bit, it goes with heat. Just warm, because if you take and then you friction, it will get scattered, then fall out in pieces. But when you warm, no, you can friction and the liquid comes out. It is with this that you take friction, that part of the back of the waist. Even if you have, your vertebral column, you friction it well. Some will even mix it with mboma oil. But I'm not talking about traditional medicine here. I'm talking about herbal medicine and natural medicine. So this is natural and herbal medicine. If you have a sprain, I'm not talking about fracture, but it also gets into the medicines for fractures. You have a sprain, like children who are playing football and they happen to get a sprain, just take it, warm it in fire a bit, even in wood ash, and then you friction, then you squeeze those paining areas. And you will see in no distant time, the child will tell you, oh, even the age, because when you squeeze with this, with traditional medicine, you have other things to add when the situation becomes very serious. But today, since it is herbal medicine, you just do it the way I'm telling you, put on hot wood ash or in a hot place, and then you friction. You can equally take it as tea. And one thing with this particular plant is that the spiritual properties of this plant, when my producer will authorize that we discuss it as traditional medicine, believe me, you will like to get this plant growing around your compound. But one thing with it is that it likes growing around bedrooms, where people urinate a lot. But viewers, for sprains, back pain, hands, it is also, most of the healers who handle the compound fracture, they are also very, very interested in this plant. You see, so you can equally cut the plant, but this environment is not all that very clean for me to chew it. You can chew it for strong abdominal pain. Another point with it is this: as natural medicine, you take it, squeeze, and you friction when you have the frontal headache. There are people who will tell you that the headache is striking. Just shake, put it there and rub and shake. When you shake, you can even ask the person, where are you feeling? Say here, shake. Where? Here. You shake. You see, you friction it around there. And believe me, you see what most healers call automatic. That's the way it treats you. Good for headache, good for sprains. You see, good for back ache. You can take it. Even if you just friction, it is good. But you can also take it orally, which is good that you're taking it orally and externally. So for today, this is Mberikum, a Songkwap. And this Tuesday morning is a lucky one for those of our age who have back pain, those who have sprain, mostly footballers. This is good for you. This Tuesday, to you viewers, is hello.
Parfai, it's actually a lucky morning if you've been watching Parfai this morning, because you now know that for your back pains, not only for men and elderly people, though women, when you start having children, you know what back pain is. So maybe Mberikum is something you can use to help you soothe the pain. Now, we are going to continue to talk about church things, and we have a young lady who's come here, Promise Akante, who's going to be talking to us about activities leading up to the Youth Day on the 11th of February. Hello, ma. Good morning.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
I like
you?
your hairdo.
Oh,
thanks. Thank you for waking up with the CRTV.
It's always been like that for several decades now.
I'm happy to have you, though.
Although
So
I look young, it's true.
we like people who hang on to youthfulness. You know, it's really not in the age, it's in the mind.
It's in the mind.
When you hold on to it and you grab it, people keep wondering, how old is she? Don't bother, look at the face.
Look at the face, that's right.
But tell me, we're here to talk about your activities within your church leading up to your day.
Yeah, I'm from the St. Philip the Apostles Parish at Tegebe Plateau. And it's actually a brainchild of our parish priest, the Reverend Father Vincent Xavier Kolo. You know, the youths always feel like the old people are the ones doing everything in church. When we go to the pastoral council, it's like, okay, the old people decide everything and they just come and put it down on us. So the parish priest thought like, okay, why not bring these youths to have their own platform, have their own activities, and let us just watch like the parents, let the youths do something. I'm a youth, so we, the parish priest of this platform, we have a peculiarity of our church is that we have the Anglophones and Francophones in the same parish. It's not an all Anglophone or all Francophone parish, so we have these two in the same parish, and so we combine the two. We are working together as the Francophones and Anglophones in the same platform.
Okay.
And so to build up of Youth Day, 11 February, we have activities, a lot of them that we are going to carry on. And you know, the unifying factor is football. Everybody loves football.
And this is the time for it. Like, the cup is here, so anything football is.
It's good, yes.
Sure.
So we are going to, on the 11th of February itself, Saturday at 2 p.m. at the field inside the handicap center there at Tugebe, we are going to have a football match between the Anglophones and the Francophones. And I'm not going to tell you who is going to win.
No, don't tell us. But of course, come cheer the person you want to see carry that cup.
Yes, inside the center for handicapped people, we have a field just behind, so we're going to have a football match there at 2 o'clock on Saturday. Then after that, it continues. You know, youth with KMS, so we are going to have, just after that, we're going to have activities at the Column Hall, which is just behind the church, still in the center. We are going to have fashion parade. You know, people always think that fashion parade is like dressing naked and moving the
far from it.
Far
Could
from
be,
it.
but far from
In
it.
the church style, we are going to have all the attires, the bamenda, the bakwere, the bulu, all the attires you can think of in Cameroon,
The Northerners and
which is
the
Africa in miniature. We are going to have all of them on stage, all done by youths. All right, so we are going to portray our culture, which actually is our heritage. We are going to portray the culture on that Saturday. We'll have eating competition. I know I'm a
Are we Are we allowed to come for that one particularly?
Okay. You are allowed.
Only that one.
If you win. If you are sure you are
You could be surprised. but tell us, yes, eating competition.
Yeah, we're also going to have a sack race.
Okay.
You put yourself in the back and try to jog very fast. We will have a tug of war. Don't mind my small muscles, I can be very strong.
We'll
I
see
can
that.
pull. And then we also have playbacks. The youth can interpret many songs done by Cameroonian artists. And of course, there will be a surprise guest artist. If I say it now, I'm going to spoil the surprise, so I'm not going to tell you.
But of course, the program is very, very interesting already. So
Lots of attractions that we are going to do.
You
You know,
want to
when
come
youth
there.
come together.
Do you want to remind us the place and the time for those who are finding this very interesting?
Yeah, it's at the Handicap Center there at Etugebe, the Center for the of Handicap People.
Yes.
At Etugebe, and the church is inside the compound. As you get into the gate of the church, the first building to your right is the church. Directly behind the church, we have the field, and behind the church, again, we have the column hall. And as from 2 o'clock on Saturday, I'm sure after March past, people should have been back by 2 o'clock. Stop at the Handicap Center. If you miss it, I guess
That
you have
will be-
missed out on the Youth Day
That would be
celebration.
a very wonderful way to spend the afternoon after the march past.
Yeah.
You know, for me though, it will give a lot of value to life if you spend that with the disabled persons or the challenged persons in society.
They like
and
calling
getting
themselves
fun.
people with special abilities, not disabilities.
Yes,
Yes.
I think I buy that, and please
Yes,
buy that with us.
buy
People
it.
with
It's
special
nice.
ability, because of course, until you see them, you wouldn't know. Please go discover. Thank you very much, Akante Promise. Any special word you want to give to those watching us before you leave?
Youthfulness, as we were saying, youthfulness is in the mind, and don't tell yourself you're too old to be happy. Happiness knows no age, knows no boundaries. It has no limitations. Just be as happy as you can possibly get.
Yes, I like that. Before you go, though, let me ask you this one. What were you doing on Sunday between
a
9
trap.
p.m. and midnight?
Yeah, that's a trap. I was for it.
Tell
Well,
me, give me an idea.
You said from 9 p.m.?
Yes.
Aye.
Very specific.
9 p.m. I was indoors, like in quotes.
You can't say you were sleeping because like, you can't be sleeping. I mean,
can't
all
be
the
sleeping.
noise.
I was on the couch, like, what's going to happen?
And your temperature was rising.
The heart was boom, 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 boom. And then when that
Yeah, I like that you said it. Like it just relieved us.
as a journalist myself, I had to dash out, take people's reactions and get sounds. How are people feeling? Some people in my interviews, I laughed after that because my interviews, some people's voices, I could hardly even hear what they were saying.
I know, they were just screaming, right?
Yes.
Did you see people with cover pots on the street?
Oh, yes. And it was, I don't know where those cover
And I don't know where the idea came from.
And I don't
But-
know where they ended, but I think that most mothers are looking for
Please,
their
if you're
leads.
sending us messages and you know where the cover pots and the pots ended,
and
tell
the
us.
buckets and,
So-
and the gallons.
Thank
and
you very
everything.
much, Promise. And it's always a pleasure to have you again. Please come again and tell us what you're doing.
I will.
All
I
right.
will, because I guess we'll also be doing something for Valentine's Day, which
Oh,
is
yes.
still
Oh, yes. Oh, the temperature is going up. Please, come
the
back
youth
again.
platform will have something for the Valentine's
We'll be
Day,
looking
so I
forward to
guess
that.
we will, yeah.
Now, as I told you, if you're wondering what Big Up is, this is Our Lady on High Tech, Elinor Ayukita, standing by to tell us about it. Just watch.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to High Tech on Hello Cameroon this morning. I have some guy here with me. He's a computer engineer and he's going to be telling us more about the application he's working on. It's called Hub. So let's sit back and get to meet Harry Kandem. We're working on an application. It's called Hub. Could you please tell us more about it?
The application we're working on is a social media application. So the idea is you basically take something like Facebook or WhatsApp where you use to communicate, but then we have certain particularities, especially in the domain of security, in the domain of app discovery, in the domain of location sharing, which make it more useful to the users and to the community.
Why did you come up with this application? What is the reason there?
I'm a computer engineer, I'm a PhD student, and my work is on computer security. So I was wary of the fact that when two Cameroonians, for example, communicate, the communication they exchange has to go to a server somewhere in the US. And so it poses a problem of how do we manage our information, who knows what about us. So I came up with a new way of doing this communication exchange in apps, which makes that the middleman, the app owner, the person running the app cannot know what you're saying or even to who you're saying what at what time. So that's a real improvement to your privacy, and you know that the data is held here in Yaoundé, you can control it any moment. And also it solves another problem, that of visibility. You know, when you develop an app here in Cameroon, you find it hard to find your customers. So when somebody uses Hub, it's not just about communicating, it's a hub where everything just meets And you, as a developer, you can anytime develop your application and let people have visibility on the application, know about it, use it directly inside Hub. It's really open and want everybody to make use of it.
What is peculiar about Hub? What makes it special for Cameroonians?
I would advise everybody to try it out at least once, and I'm sure you will stick to it. We are launching on the 9th of December, and from that date, you have exclusive content. You have this local music, for example, like a musician. If you're a musician at home, you can post your songs, and people will have access to them directly on the software. You can get free music from our partners, and again, any musician who wants can put up his free music or extra apps here, and you can change the background if you like. So this is what the contact list looks like, basically. And when you actually want to chat, all you need to do is come over here, and this is what it looks like. So this is what the chat interface looks like. So you get everything you're used to. You have smileys down here if you're someone who uses them. You have the opportunity to send a message later. I can set it to send in a week or later on. And you have basically everything you want, with the added advantage of security.
One last question. What other projects are you working on? I mean, you're computer engineers, you always have things you're working on. So what is the next thing we should be expecting from you after Hub's launch in December?
Well, we're working on a lot of projects. We still have a lot of partnerships. But for now, I would like to keep them secret. And all the focus is on Hub. So I would like to take this opportunity to ask everyone to visit bighub.org. That's bighub.org. That's where we'll be launching, and the launch is on the 9th of December.
Thank you very much, Harry, for being our guest on High Tech, and I wish you all the best in your endeavors.
Thank you very much to Elinor Ayukita, and for those of you watching us, hook up again on Thursday for more on High Tech. If you are watching us and you're wondering what you want to share with us, we are deeply interested in what you were doing on Sunday, this Sunday that just passed, between 9 p.m. and midnight. If you were dragging pots on the streets, tell us. If you were sleeping, it's okay, just tell us. If you were hugging people, we want to know too. Now, this is what somebody sent. He says, by that time, I was screaming, dancing, and shouting. This is from Jibo Magaji in Cambe. Yes. Good morning to those of you watching us from Cambe. Now, let's talk about bouillon cubes. These cubes that we put in our food to season and to season the food and get the taste, a little bit up some bar. We have Myra, who is here to talk about healthy eating and healthy living. Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
This ma'am thing, since when did you start calling me ma'am?
Oh, no.
It sounds nice, though.
It's a way of hugging you without actually leaving my seat.
Right.
So,
Because when you have the makeup on.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But first of all, before we talk about bouillon cubes, what were you doing on Sunday between 9 p.m. and I know you said to the memory of this baby, a 9-year-old died in the course of all of that. And some people died too. Some died of heart attack. But in their memory, what happy things did you do?
I'm the kind of person that will not sit in front of a TV set and watch the match from beginning to the end because of a lot of tension.
So you were jumping in and out?
No, I do a lot of things, and then when I hear people screaming, I rush and I come on, yay, what is happening, what's happening? That's just me, but I did the screaming. I was screaming and shouting, and then when it was declared that we
have the cup.
Yep. I called Ruth, I called Dio, I called Gwen, and the call was nothing. You just, when Gwen says hello, we just scream. Like.
The whole place was screaming in my neighborhood. And I heard that in Douala at one point, if you couldn't see the pots or the covers of the pots.
There were a lot of pots outside, and they were like, Jeep, down la sauce.
And like, what is the next ingredient? Egypt, the pharaohs. We ate everything. We ate the Teranga lions. We ate some stars or the black stars. And then we ate the pharaohs.
Yeah, it felt so good after 15 years having that, and then...
It did feel good. But now talking about feeling good, tell me about bouillon cubes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Calm down.
I'm going to be like the very mean girl after when I'm done saying what I have to say today, but we have to tell it like it is. And you mentioned in the beginning that bouillon cubes are used to enhance the taste of food and bring out the flavor in them. But what is so bizarre is they really have nothing that they will give you nutritionally. But people have allowed themselves to
buy the taste.
To buy the taste and love it, and it has grossly overtaken the kitchen especially in Africa and even the world over, and people are producing more and more of different kinds of bouillon cubes. But you would ask me the question that what did our forebears usually do when they cooked? Was it that their food was so tasteless? But you'll be surprised, they had something that was much more better. The fermented seeds, like the ogiri, sesame seeds.
Sesame seeds.
Yes, the fermented the African locust bean, which is the iru, as called in West Africa.
Okay.
And those were so nice because nutritionally they will give you proteins, they will give you vitamins, they will help you speed up the digestion of carbohydrates in whatever food that you were cooking and that you were eating. But that tradition is fast dying out and people are not still looking at it. It's still practiced in some parts of West Africa. I realized that when I was doing my research. But it's really dying out. And I think it's something that we should try and go back to because those were the best and they are still the best.
But tell me, are people worried about the health? It's okay if it doesn't add anything, but does it reduce anything in your health? Are bouillon cubes not healthy? Maybe that's how I should put it.
Yes, they are not. I just told you that the fermented seeds were good, but bouillon cubes, they make your food unhealthy.
Okay.
This is what happens. The three main ingredients that lay the base of the production of this are salt, and then you have monosodium, and you have hydrogenated oils. Those are trans fats. And every health researcher has told us, has written it down, and they are unanimous about it, that these are so bad for your health. Remember, we are being told, and we know today, that the number of the patients with hypertension are increasing. More and more people are dying of stroke. They suffer effects because the heart stroke. If you survive, if you don't die, you're left with some. And this comes from salt. You would ask me, is it basically because they are eating bouillon cubes? I would say no. But if you say, is it a component or a contributing and a push factor to that, I would say a big YES. And they have also linked these bouillon cubes to symptoms like headache, you have numbness, you have general body weakness, and then they are blaming it a little bit more with diseases like obesity, asthma, cancer, and you can imagine the rest. So the question is, why do you keep putting it? Now, if you're looking at me and you think that Myra is so mean this morning.
No, you're not, but I still use bouillon cubes, and I don't know why I keep using them.
We all do, but you should go to msgtruth.org and you would understand. MSG is simply a monosodium glutamate truth, and that's one of the components, again, that is used to make Maggi. And you'll be surprised, there are some recipes of Maggi that have sugar in it. So you have sugar, you have salt. Now, if you really cannot do without the bouillon cubes, if you put salt, don't put bouillon cubes because you're doing the same thing, right? But if you can really go without those, you should leave it. And then now, I mentioned trans fats. This is what they can really do for you. They are going to cause you the coronary artery disease. I'll let you understand. That narrows the arteries, that pumps oxygenated blood into your heart. And when this happens, they cannot function properly, and so they produce more of the LDL, which is bad cholesterol, instead of the HDL, which is the good cholesterol.
Okay.
And that's why we're having the high blood pressures, the heart attacks, all the cardiovascular problems. It's a push factor. But we have an option. People will say, since we don't have fermented seeds, what should we do, Myra? You can use chicken broth. What's that? You boil chicken, scraps of chicken, chicken bones. You add carrots into them. You simmer for maybe half an hour, 1 hour. You drain out the sauce. Keep it in something in your refrigerator and then use it to spice and enhance the taste of your food. Maybe next week we'll look at the health benefits of that so that you understand where I'm coming
we like
from.
alternatives, but you need to try them too. Then you know what Myra is talking about.
Yeah.
Myra, thank you for coming.
Ochi, can I say thank you to somebody?
Please go. This is the day we are very generous. I mean, the cup is here. The cup is in Yaoundé, in case you didn't know. It is right in Yaoundé. So please, we're very generous this morning.
And I have my cup on me. Actually, on Saturday, on Born Weekend, I had a fantastic fashion designer on the show. He has become my
Fabric Doctor. I got the name. Yeah.
He has become my next fashion crush. And Emanuela is smiling because he actually told me ear to ear that that's my kid sister. And I was like, she's so mean. Why did she have to keep all the designs to herself? Fabric Doctor, thank you so much for this
you're looking
T-top. It's so chic. I love it. I love it. And he's never seen me before. He looked at me on television and
got your size.
And he works like magic.
He got it right. Thank you very much, Fabric Doctor. We like people who share love and they bring love to us. Myra, have a beautiful day.
Thank you.
And talking about love, I met this on the streets of Yaoundé, and I was like, it's a long time I saw red grape.
Yeah.
they are around, of course, but it's a long time I actually took notice, and I was like, I'm going to just give slices of red grape to people today. So please have a slice of red grape.
Thank you. Can I still have my banana?
And may your day be beautifully red. Beautifully red today. Banana is the thing you should have if you're fighting weight, but you want to eat something is consistent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, let me take one more message, and then, we can. Let's take a moment of advert instead. Then we'll go to Emanuela. Mara just told you she's right here, and it's almost time for the news. But first, a moment of advert.
Maman laisse, avec la bomba sim de Nextel, je les data en soc.
Comment ta connexion dans la gossi? Toi aussi. C'est 50 francs.
Le week-end chez Nextel, profitez de plus d'internet. Pour 1000 francs, obtenir des données 10 gigaoctets, WhatsApp gratuitement et bien plus encore.
Nextel, the best 3G network in Cameroon.
Another morning on the Cameroon Radio Television. Thanks for choosing our 7 a.m. edition to get informed. And we start off with news to look out for today. A special ceremony to receive the indomitable Lions of Cameroon back home after their brilliant performance in Gabon last Sunday will take place today at 10 a.m. at the Ministry of Sports and Physical Education. The event, to be chaired by Sports Minister Bidun Kwad, is aimed at paying homage to a team that has brought glory to Cameroon, winning for the 5th time the most precious soccer trophy in the continent. The Minister of Basic Education, Yusuf Hadija Alim, will today, in the presence of the French ambassador to Cameroon, preside over the handing ceremony of the first classrooms built by the C2D education program in the education priority zones. The ceremony will take place at the premises of Government School Meidugu in the Minganga subdivision, that is Adamawa region, as from 10 a.m. And a forum on youth unemployment or a forum on youth employment organized by the African Development Bank opens in Yaoundé today. It is a platform for those attending to diagnose the problem linked to unemployment and propose ways of curbing the situation. It begins at 8 a.m. Meantime, an African forum on public finance equally kicks off in the capital city today at 8 a.m. at the Hilton Hotel. And on to our running stories now. The indomitable Lions, of course, are back in the country after performing brilliantly and bringing the trophy to Cameroon. The Lions, now 5-time winners of the cup, arrived the country last evening and were received at the Douala at the Yaoundé International and Simalene International Airport by fans and family. As you tell us, Cyril Nozik.
After several hours of waiting, the thousands of fans and Cameroonians who thronged the Yaoundé Simalene International Airport finally saw the African heroes. The triumphant entry of the Lions was saluted with much enthusiasm. The communion was lively. Upon arrival a few minutes earlier, the Lions were received by the Secretary General of the Sports Ministry and the first Vice President of the Cameroon Football Federation. The Lions then left the VIP lodge where the Communication Minister and other state officials equally saluted their bravery and were presented the trophy. The 5 times African champions then took off en route to the Mont Febe Hotel. Thousands of fans could only sing patriotic songs to cheer the Lions. From the airport to town, the streets were full of Cameroonians who came out to commune with the Lions. The Mesamenongo neighborhood, Mvan Mvongbi passing through the central town, it was just a come and see.
And it was just a come and see last Sunday in the littoral region during the victory of the Lions after thrashing Egypt 2-1. The fan base or the population and supporters in that part of the country, especially in Douala, came out on the streets brandishing everything and chanting patriotic songs in the name of the Lions. We have that report, courtesy Rene Kachi.
From Bonaberry to Aqua, they do to Bonanjo, cutting across all the nooks, the crannies and crevices of Douala, both old and newly converted followers of the indomitable Lions had a long night of celebration. At last, the Egyptian ghost has been exorcised. What ended up becoming the greatest moment in the lives of these passionate football lovers in 15 years started like a seesaw puzzle for Cameroon. A 22-minute curtain raiser for Egypt left fans in Douala frustrated. Some already gave up, while others remained faithful.
On doit réagir par rapport à cette situation. Vous voyez les pieds des Égyptiens, on doit réagir. Moi, je ne suis pas à l'aise. Même en buvant la beauté, je ne suis pas à l'aise.
They have a very good goalkeeper, but the defender actually not very good.
At this moment, I still feel hopeful because we have strong players. Our players still have energy.
Demonstrating remarkable tenacity at the second segment of the game, the indomitable Lions won back the admiration of their fans when Nicolas Nkulu outjumped the Egyptian defense and drew level on 59 minutes. The equalizer threw the entire city of Douala into loud celebration. On 88 minutes, as the fans kept cheering the Lions at the top of their voices, dead ball specialist Vincent Abubakar went off radar and scored an exceptional volley that sent every living soul on the streets for celebration.
Equally celebration across the 10 regions of Cameroon. Away from sports, now let's talk about activities leading up to the Youth Day celebration to be observed on the 11th of February that have intensified across the capital city. Yaoundé nursery, primary and secondary schools of both public and the private sectors are intensifying march past practice and equally sporting activities, as you captured for us the images. Kilo Valerie.
With 5 days before the youth in Cameroon celebrate their day, preparations have gained steam in Yaoundé. Final march past rehearsals to treat the public on February 11 are being concluded. Nursery, primary and secondary schools, public or private, no one is left behind.
The march past has been going through over the week. We prepared some songs that we're singing for the preparation of the bipartisan day that we're finalizing today. Went to some school and we sang the songs. We're back here in school to finish on the whole program.
There's still much in stock to render the 2017 Youth Day a memorable one.
We are preparing the children for the march past. As you can see, we have prepared them. We are showing them how they can march, and we are also preparing to have a football match with the children, the other classes also, and we have a theater that will take place here in school on Thursday. Tomorrow, which is Tuesday, we will be going out of the school campus for a field trip to the Bogbiti zoo.
Besides the traditional march past, students are showcasing their musical talent. Beyond this excitement, Youth Day preparations in Cameroon will be more purposeful if they address the daily concerns of the youth rather than being a yearly routine.
And we still continue talking about youth projects to avail young ICT startups in Cameroon with business knowledge has been launched in Yaoundé by the Ministry of Post and Telecommunications. A caravan of experts is currently putting their expertise at the disposal of a potential ICT entrepreneurs in this project that the ministry has codenamed the Digital Economy Globe Trotter. Raina Tusali was there for us.
For digital enterprise, one setup is an investment, experts say. They believe that if all those with potential are given the right tools and information to start up their businesses, then building a digital economy wouldn't be that difficult after all. It is for these reasons that the Ministry of Post and Telecommunications launched the Globetrotter of Digital Economy for the support of youth ICT projects.
This Globetrotter of Digital Economy is the first step. We are going to move in all the country, but the main purpose is to allow young youth owner of ICT projects to mature their project.
The project seeks to, amongst other things, promote B2B encounters between the starters, public and eventual sponsors.
At the end, the government will put in place a cyber park to help young youth, owner of ICT projects, to transform their project to small size enterprise in ICT.
For 3 days, experts from leading digital economies will share their expertise with the youth.
Our contribution right now to this project is to make a base, providing them a secure system to give a security to the database that we are going to collect, because the ideas of the young entrepreneurs are really very important.
From Yaoundé, the caravan will move to Douala, then Bamenda.
And out of Cameroon, the U.S. Department of Justice has defended President Trump's travel ban and urged an appeal court to reinstate it in the interest of national security. The Justice Department argues that it is a lawful exercise of the president's authority and not a ban on Muslims. And it's on that we call it quits for our 7 a.m. edition this morning. Thanks for your kind attention. Take the rendezvous for tomorrow.
Of course, take the rendezvous for tomorrow when you'll be here with my brother, Eric Christian Nya, and Bonjour le Cameroun. Till then, have a beautiful day, right?
Thank you.
But before you go, do you like my basket?
Of course.
Now, are you...
As usual, like Sama is just saying at the background, as if he too doesn't always throw his
Don't
eyes
mind him, okay? And this is something I want you to rediscover. Many people might not really be fond of red grapes. It's not as sour as the yellow one, I would say. This one is sweeter.
Yeah, sure.
And it's bigger. You can have a good chunk, a good bite of it. Please have a beautiful one. And see you on Thursday.
See you on Thursday.
All right. Now, for you out there, this is when we'll bring you our retro clip. We'll move to 7 a.m. so some of you can actually have to enjoy it. This is Julie Doumbé with a song he sang in 1990, and it's titled in English, Things Like This. This is a song that would definitely bring back some memories to you. Please enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah. On the wise for no play. Sabi ne the hide over Sabi all day. We don't need war for don't think. Small no be sick, I be big country. Bounce on my hotel, it's okay. Life for not teach with the young all day. Remy on our feet, see the hustle all day. We the stop and really quick with some hustle called faith. Small cartel chick, the work for big pay. Guess man off his sleep where the job never pay. Puzzle on the beat, see the wait now payday. Life on repeat, I beg you press play. Now welcome to the streets where the real boys stay. No to defeat with the win all day. We killing that mother like Boomba, yeah. X on the matter like the CIA.
I know they find me palava for yeah.
No.
Si tu veux mal on te traite comme un facochère.
No.
We just follow the vibe, we know the best. Cause right here I'm the king and I'm feeling like the best. Cause I'm really the best. Cause this is Africa TI. Don't jump on the roof of TI. Pass me the king TI. Me and my men them I feel like. Cause this is Africa TI. Don't jump on the roof TI. Pass me the king TI. turn on the radio, feel alright.
Every other city we go, now we the one radio. No matter where you go, they go tell you, say now we on the high for yeah, got it. Set jacker then make a head pop play. We don't need try for years, c'est parce que on monte sur la moto bâché. We know they like chop, no one day. We don't need chop flop, big CFA. We know they knock 'em up with the lock côté. Now actually talk à côté. We don't get passport for take we go there, but when you go there, go find we for day. They be thinking that we sleeping, but they pay steady go and make they look for our kitchen. They go fear what we are cooking.
Si tu veux mal, on te traite comme un facochère. We just follow the vibe, we know the best. It's right here, I'm the king and I'm feeling like the best.
You know what? Cause I really like the best.
Cause this is Africa TI. Don't jump on the roof of TI. Pass me the thing, TI. Me and my men, them I feel alright. Cause this is Africa TI. Jump on the roof, TI. Pass me the thing, TI. Turn on the radio, feel alright.
Every other city we go, now we the one radio. No matter where you go, they go tell you, say now we
Nabil for real, call him Nasta. He's there with a featuring from DJ Pazzo. The title is This is Africa. Thank you very much, Nabil. That was a beautiful song, and he set the temperature a little bit higher in here. Please keep your messages coming. The COP is here in Yaoundé right now as I'm talking to you. So please tell me where you were and what you were doing, if you were breaking bottles, if you were getting drunk, if you were hugging people, if you were stealing your mother or your wife's pots to go crash them on the streets. Tell us too. That's what we were trying to find out, what you were doing on Sunday between 9 p.m. and midnight. What was I doing? I was watching football. It started quite calmly, especially when the first goal came. The first one, right? The very first one. The first in the series of three that came in that match. When it came, my temperature just dropped, but I was like, just sit. I mean, what else are you doing? But by 9 p.m., 10 p.m., my temperature was like 40, but no comma, just fun. Now let's go read what the papers have, because it's time for the headlines and a tip of what the papers have for you before you step out of your homes. Bodwin Summer, good morning.
Good morning, Pochi.
Do you know there's a cop in Yaoundé right now?
I know. I know there is a cop already in Yaoundé.
All right. So before that, though, tell me, what were you doing on Sunday in the evening? Like towards the last hours of Sunday?
I was working. I was here in Balato. I was working programs on that day, and I was sent to cover how Cameroonians were watching the match in Yaoundé, different neighborhoods, and it was crazy.
What did you see? Did you see pots?
I saw more than enough pots that I've ever seen before. So the car we used to drive around town was almost damaged by
joyful people.
Yes, supporters of the Lions. Fortunately, the car wasn't damaged. That's when we realized that no matter the problems many Cameroonians have, when it comes to football, they are so united.
It's the only party where everybody is a militant. Now let's talk about the papers. What do we have in the papers?
We have many stories as concerns the indomitable Lions of football. Ever since the Lions lifted the trophy on Sunday, February 5, 2017, over there in Libreville in Gabon. Today's edition of Alone Bilingual Daily Cameroon Tribune newspaper informs us this morning that the African champions are back home. They returned home yesterday afternoon from Libreville, Gabon, where they won the 31st edition of the Africa Cup of Nations. The indomitable Lions received at the Yaoundé International Airport by happy football lovers in the nation's capital, Yaoundé, and also football authorities and some government ministers who were present at the airport to welcome the Lions. This edition of the paper explains to us, paints a picture for the mood at the airport yesterday and along the itinerary from the airport moving towards the Yaoundé Montfebe Hotel, where the Lions are lodged ever since they arrived yesterday. How happy many supporters of the Lions queued up to support the Lions and share them immediately they arrived. That you can read in this edition of Cameroon Tribune newspaper. We leave that paper to talk about the Post newspaper for Monday's edition of the Post newspaper that talks about Cameroon that lifted for the 5th time the Africa Cup of Nations by defeating the Pharaohs of Egypt 2-1 at the final of the Football Cup of Nations last Sunday. It was the 3rd time that Cameroon was playing against Egypt at the final of this football competition, having lost twice in 1986 and in 2008 against same Pharaohs of Egypt. It was an opportunity for the indomitable Lions of Cameroon to put an end to this deadlock between both countries, as they did so, winning it for the 5th time, 2-1, becoming African champions for the year 2017, 15 years after they last won the trophy in Bamako, Mali in 2002. With that story in this edition of the Post newspaper, it paves the way for us to talk about today's edition of Mutation newspaper. We stay away from stories links to the national football team and the Africa Cup of Nations. This time talk about stories concerning the ongoing strike action in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. Mutation persists, things get complicated in the northwest region of Cameroon. Despite the fact that the strike action teacher strike action was suspended last weekend by 4 teachers trade unions that signed this joint press release calling off or suspending the strike action. But tells us that some schools timidly respected the call of the strike action that was suspended yesterday, Monday. Some respected, while others did not at all respect. It paints a picture as to what was the mood yesterday in Bamenda in the northwest region of Cameroon, with the governor of the northwest region who went visiting in Dunga Mantung division, trying as much as possible to sensitize the school authorities and students and pupils as they need to resume classes over there in that part of the country. Read that story by getting a copy of today's edition of Mutation newspaper. We leave that paper to talk about today's edition of Emergence newspaper, still talking about the strike action in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. Emergence newspaper talks about a ghost town, the call for a ghost town in the 2 Anglophone regions, respected in some parts of these regions and not respected in other parts of the regions. That went a long way to paralyze activities in some parts of the northwest and southwest regions yesterday, Monday. Read that in this edition of Emergence newspaper. A similar story you can read in the latest edition of the Guardian Post newspaper. School takeoff was timid yesterday in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon, as per what is published in today's edition of the Guardian Post newspaper. The timid takeoff coming after the strike action that was suspended last weekend by some teachers' trade unions after a meeting with the governor of the northwest region of Cameroon. That you can read in the Guardian Post newspaper. Le Quotidien L'Économie published this Tuesday morning, says that looks at the sum of economic losses as far as this strike action in northwest and southwest regions are concerned ever since the strike action started in November 2016. The crisis that has paralyzed economic activities in these 2 regions for well over for several weeks now. What may just be the consequences if this crisis has to persist? Read that in this edition of Le Quotidien L'Économie newspaper. As the Horizon newspaper, the latest edition of its publication, comes back to talk about the suspension of the strike action by these 4 teachers' trade unions after a meeting with the Northwest governor last weekend in Bamenda, calling on students, pupils, and teachers to resume classes effectively. That was supposed to be yesterday, Monday, February 6, 2016. The Star newspaper, the latest edition of its publication, that's for this week, Anglophone problem, 2 advocates general arrested, talks about northwest, southwest that continue to suffer the continuous internet cut that they have been subjected to for several weeks now. The trial of those arrested adjourns to the 13th of February this year, 2017, with 4 common law lawyers who evade arrest and have crossed the borders. We now talk about The Voice, the latest edition of The Voice newspaper. Confusion in West Cameroon as teachers' union call off strike action, suspend the strike action. Some of the teachers not in conformity with the strike action that was suspended by these other 4 teachers' trade unions. Some other trade unions did not sign the release suspending the strike action, as per what is published in the latest edition of The Voice newspaper. As we end our review this morning with this week's edition of Eden newspaper, it says Southwest and Northwest divide and rule ploy meets stiff resistance from the population of both regions. Northwesterners are not our enemies. Those are the views of some elites who took part in the All Southwest Forum that took place in Buea last week, and that the forum was a waste of time, as per what some of these elites are saying in their reactions that are published in the latest edition of the Eden newspaper.
Thank you so much, Baldwin Sam. And now, if you are planning to step out, you know what the papers have and which one you want to go read. Have a beautiful day.
A better one for you.
And do you know what the red grape is? The red grape? Do you know?
I've heard about it.
You heard, but let me show you. This is the red grape. You've seen this?
I've seen
It's a grape, but very big. Like, it's far bigger than the one you're used to.
Yeah.
And it's sweeter. It's not sour. Should I give you a slice of it?
I would love to.
I'm trying to get hook of this guy. I mean, he doesn't like many of the fruits we have here, but I'm going to have him.
Thank you so much.
Have a beautiful day, and see you on Thursday.
God willing.
Now, if you're in your house and you're wondering, you're stepping out and you're thinking of losing the CRTV, don't lose us completely. Hook up to the national station on 88.8. You see how people like Pochi talking there and trying to grab your heart and keep it there. Now, let's talk a bit about some of your messages coming in, and we have a few of them, but please keep them sending in. Keep them coming in. Tell me about how you spent your Sunday, particularly from 9 p.m. to midnight. This is from Catherine Dinge in Bamenda. He says, good morning. I was dancing and thanking God. All right. Thank you very much, Catherine. Quanteng David in Banjul says, by that time, I was watching the Cameroon versus Egypt encounter that brought a lot of ambience and joy to all football fans all over the national territory. You weren't alone. Probably like the whole world was watching that. Hello, please. I first want to congratulate the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon for bringing back the trophy. It was an emotional moment after the underdogs became the favorites of the tournament. You can say that again. I myself, I was actually home with friends watching, and when the goal came, when the first goal came, we need to say that, I was as cold as ice water, and that point I started praying, and my prayer was answered. A lot of people were praying, it seems. This is from Claude Quinty Muma. Claude Quinty is in Limbe. And one more before we move on. On Sunday evening, I was watching football with my family till when the Lions won. And immediately I went to the road to join my friends in marching and celebrating the victory. After a very long time, the Lions defended their titles. Ondua, Mukanjo, and Fai are my best. In fact, all the guys are my best, including the coach. You go, bros. If you were around here, we'll give you a big hug. But let's talk something that is not so sweet. Divorce. It's a legal slot on Hello Cameroon right now, and the lawyer standing by to talk to us is enlightening us on divorce. Nothing much to say from my side.
Divorce is the process by which a marriage is terminated. So it is generally referred to when a marriage is arrived at a legal end. So by an official or legal means. First is it will be interesting or rather important that we take note that we have both the civil and the common law procedures in our country, and being of the common law extraction, we take the liberty to expound on what happens in common law. For divorce to take place, either of the partners or the spouses must file for a divorce, and this is done by way of a petition. And the court with jurisdiction to entertain divorce is the High Court of Cameroon, which is found in each division. So if the aggrieved partner, the partner who thinks that he can no longer support the marriage, or does no longer want the marriage to exist, has then to file through counsel to the court with the proper jurisdiction to grant a decree nisa, which eventually becomes a decree absolute of divorce. Important to note that there is a provision for amicable settlements. The parties must have attempted to reconcile their marriage before applying for the dissolution of the marriage. And in this case, you first of all seek for an order nisa, after which it is granted, you have to wait for 6 weeks and a day to be able to apply then for the order absolute. Reason being that the family is the fundamental of the society, so the laws tend to protect the family. So they encourage the parties to dialogue and try to resolve their issues before they apply for the order nisa. That is exactly why we go to court when you're applying for a divorce, because one of the fundamentals of the law is what we call in Latin audi alteram partem. The other party must be heard. So when you're applying for a divorce, it is a hearing. Both parties are heard, and the court must establish the fact. The court must be confident that the marriage has broken down irretrievably, and that is the bedrock of the granting of divorce in the common law court. The courts must be satisfied that the marriage in question has broken down irretrievably before the divorce is granted. And there are several grounds under which a party or a spouse may apply for divorce. But again, the fundamental aspect of it is that the marriage should have broken down irretrievably before the divorce is granted. If I was to look at it purely from a legal standpoint of view, and then you will see that the marriage is like a contract between a man and a woman in this case, and the family forms the bedrock of society. The reason why the draftsmen in drafting the laws that bind a man and a woman give ample space for reconciliation and dialogue, and the courts will only grant a divorce where the marriage is broken down irretrievably. I insist on the word irretrievably, because where it can be retrieved, then the courts will tend not to grant or dissolve the marriage. So my advice is that perhaps more often than not in courts you see that there's a lack in communication between the parties. Perhaps not due to any major reason. But where there is a breach in communication in the marriage, you find that a lot of things go wrong. So I would advise, that the parties, spouses, do their best to communicate in their marriages to avoid divorce. Institution of marriage is governed in Cameroon by the Civil State Registration Ordinance of 1981, as amended by law number 2011/011 of 6th of May 2011. In the common law extractions of the Republic of Cameroon, by virtue of the Southern Cameroon High Court Law of 1955, we import laws from the United Kingdom, by virtue of the law above cited. By that, we have the Matrimonial Causes Act of 1973, which governs divorce proceedings in this side of the country.
Thank you you so much. Now you know a little bit more about divorce, though it's something many people do not want to talk about. All right, well, but when you happen to meet it, you want to know how you want to handle it, right? Okay. Let me take one more message before we talk about football here with Charles Ebune. A day in history, of course, we can talk only about football, the Lions, the cup, and some symbols that came through yesterday. Hello, I was drinking in a snack bar and I drank 8 bottles and shared 15 bottles. This is from Wika Peter from Bambui. Of course, there was a lot of sharing and drinking on Sunday. And, well, tell us about that too. We'd like to know what you were doing on Sunday between 9 p.m. and midnight when the Lions were winning the cup. Charles Ebune, good morning.
Good morning, Pochi.
How are you?
I'm fine.
What were you doing on Sunday between 9 p.m. and midnight? Don't tell me you were reading a book.
I was reading a book called Comment négocier avec les gens difficiles.
Are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
Actually, but you didn't fall in my trap, though, because if you had said you were watching, I was like, when the Lionesses were having their finals, you were reading a book. So, but tell me, you did watch 1-1, right? Because you picked out some symbols.
Yeah, sure. I watched a few moments of the encounter, and some numbers were used in that competition, some symbols were used in that competition, and let me just pick 2 of them. The Lions had an extraordinary victory in Gabon, as the images will be showing of their celebration. I think the first symbol of that encounter was the behavior, the attitude, the manner of team captain Benjamin Mukanjo, who, after the victory, decided to pick the cup and hand it alongside the eldest member of the group, if you like, Nkulu. I think for over the years, there has been this dichotomy between the old and the young generations of the national football team, and Cameroonians in particular. This was a nice message that generations, young and old, can live together, that it is not a complete break between the outgoing generation and the incoming generation. And that is how you become a hero in whatever situation it is. I think it is time we have to respect those who were there before us, and the fact that they are still with us, that everybody has a place. As you know, the world is so big, there is no need for us to fight that everybody has a place under the sun, like former German Chancellor Otto von Bismarck, who said that Germany equally needed a place under the sun during the colonial period. The other symbol which came out from the competition, and I don't think even the Lions themselves understood why they used the number 17. Some have attributed it to the number that Mark Vivian Foe won. Some people have taken it to be the year 2017. But let me just break what the number 17 means in biblical terms, and I just want to limit myself to the Bible. Terms, the number 17 symbolizes complete victory and overcoming the enemy. Now you understand that the biblical deluge, or what they call the flood, happened on the 17th day of the 2nd month of the Hebrew calendar. That is a clear message to tell you that the deluge here will be the Lions' victory
over Pharaoh,
over the pharaohs of Egypt, because it has been a long period of the pharaohs' domination of the national team. Now, the ark, the biblical ark by Noah, which had 8 people, rested on the 17th day of the 7th month of the Jewish calendar, what they normally call the Feast of Tabernacle. Now, the PCC moderator, Cardinal Tumi, and others will understand that better. Now, if you go to the New Testament, the resurrection of Jesus takes place near sunset on Nisan 17. Nisan is the equivalent of January. That is the first month of the Jewish calendar, which was roughly a Saturday. In current calendar, you will use April 17. Now, the resurrection of Jesus taking place on the 17th day of the first month of the Jewish calendar.
That's victory over
death. We are talking here of the resurrection of the national team after after 14 years of non-victory, of non-continental title. So I'm using the biblical allusions to inject meaning in the football world. Now, you understand that the word love, the 17th time it is mentioned in the first book of Chronicles, 13:13. That is when Apostle Paul declares it as the greatest gift of all. So you will now understand why Captain Benjamin Mukanjo and his teammates had to use the inscription Cameroon forever.
I also understand why you're being biblical. You know, we saw some of these players go on their knees and pray and refuse to look at the goal until they went into the net.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of faith in this story.
There is a lot of faith in all of this. You know, as I was saying, the 17th time the word love is mentioned in the book of Corinthians 1, chapter 13, verse 13. That is when Apostle Paul declares that it is the greatest gift of all. And you now understand why it was said Cameroon forever, knowing so well that some of us have rejected the national team, knowing so well that even after victory, some of us were not happy with the national team and that we did not even celebrate the interview of Captain Benjamin Mukanjo.
Exactly.
After that, tells the entire
knowing
context
so well
in
that
which
we are in some kind of a turmoil.
And then finally, you have to look at the symbol of the devil in the Bible. The devil's end time, you have 7 heads, 10 horns. That gives you 17. And you have to read that in Genesis, in Revelations chapter 13, verse 1 to 8. And if you go to Daniel's beast, it is 7 heads, 10 horns, which gives you a figure of 17, which is equals to the second coming of Jesus, the end time. What does that mean in football perspective? They are simply telling you that expect us in 2019. The Lions are coming.
Charles Ebune, I couldn't say anything again after that. You've been so exhaustive and you took an angle that I didn't say coming today. But of course, that's you, right?
Sure.
Have a beautiful day and see you on Thursday.
This time I hardly promise because now I live a life of Bate Bisong. I can be here just like I cannot be here.
No problem. When we see him, we'll be happy to see him. Please have a beautiful day.
You're welcome.
And would you like something to start your day? Anything? Please
Today,
feel free. That's what looks like you.
It for myself. You know, Charles Ebune is already.
And you want to keep it thin. They say lemon is very healthy. That's what he
just a filamentous young man.
Beautiful day.
Filaments.
Beautiful day to you, Charles Ebune. It's a pleasure to have you all the time. It's a story of faith we told you at the beginning, and this is one more thing I want to share with you to tell you that faith works and it's coming from people who've been here before us and who've seen it work. This is from Muhammad Ali. This is a boxer who's received titles, who's won titles that you cannot imagine, and whose name is still written, his name is still written in gold in places you can't imagine. This is what he said. He said, it's lack of faith that makes people afraid of meeting challenges, and I believed in myself. Actually, the recipe for his success is probably because he believed in himself. The Lions believe in themselves, and here they are in Yaoundé with the cup. Please believe in yourself and grab something beautiful for yourself. Now, talking about the Lions and how they make people feel, let's go to Batwa. Mati Mabu is standing by with an opinion or a view.
How the people reacted after the victory.
Thank you very much, Charles Ebune, for how the celebration went on over there. Mati Mabu, there you go.
Jesus Christ has won. God has won. I'm telling you, Mati Mabu, I'm right here and Dumekan, very far from in the east region of Cameroon. And behind me I have the minister of Angweng, and they're calling Jesus' name. They are calling the name of Jesus here, and they're calling national anthem. And with this is the fun. The minister himself. Monsieur le ministre, un message au chef d'État et un message aux Camerounais. Depuis Doumentan.
Depuis Doumentan, nous sommes fiers d'être Camerounais. Nous sommes fiers d'être Camerounais. Nous sommes contents de la prestation de nos valeureux lions indomptables. Qui l'eût cru? On ne pouvait pas imaginer que cette équipe jeune pouvait nous ramener le trophée, le plus grand trophée que l'Afrique puisse mettre en compétition, la Coupe d'Afrique des Nations. À Doumentan, nous sommes heureux et nous sommes fiers d'être Camerounais. Ce Cameroun qui est un grand pays. Merci.
Les gens à Doumentan ont dit que le Cameroun n'a pas gagné. Jésus-Christ et Dieu a gagné pour Saint-Doumentan. Qu'est-ce que vous dites au Seigneur?
Merci beaucoup. Nous dédions cette victoire au bon Dieu.
Merci, monsieur le directeur général de la CATV, monsieur Charles Ndongo. Mais merci au chef de l'État qui a mis les moyens à la disposition du directeur général de la CATV. Merci aux populations. Merci aux populations de Doumentan.
The excitement and joy was total in Doumentan, East region of Cameroon, when the Indomitable Lions won the match against the Pharaohs of Egypt. Minister of Public Service and Administrative Reforms, alongside elites of the East and friends from all over Cameroon, were excited.
I'm Boke Godlive Ntoa, Senior Divisional Officer for Opagnon. If somebody who is out of Cameroon, as you say, should know us, he knows that we're in Cameroon. We're happy to be in Cameroon, and we're happy to watching Cameroon team play.
So I encourage the people who are playing the football team, and I also wish them the best in the match.
They don't really have a problem, but they have reached this level because of their goalkeeper.
Le plus grand trophée que l'Afrique puisse mettre en compétition.
Cameroonians in the East region praised God, saying Jesus Christ won, and played for Cameroon after singing the national anthem. They confirmed that a new era has just been born in Cameroon's football calendar.
Thank you so much, Matimabu. Of course, the country is still jubilating. I mean, it's joy like we've not seen for years and for ages in all over the country and well beyond. Now, let's talk a bit about peace building, and steps taken by individuals, groups, and different persons to promote peace in the country. I'm receiving here Professor Dr. Guy Fontem Andreas. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, madam.
Thank you so much for coming to CRTV.
Thanks very much.
You are the Executive World President of the World Organization to fight for peace.
Right.
Do you want to tell me about this association? What is it about?
Yes. The World Organization to Fight for Peace is an international non-governmental organization which was legalized in France on the 28th of April 1999. And this was the headquarters was put up there. And later on, we had to spread worldwide. That is, we have representatives in many countries, like in U.S., in Canada, where I was. And we are trying to, we said no, but it was very necessary so that we should impact our country. That is, we are worldwide. Why not also impact our country? So we are really doing something on the field for quite a long time. We've been sensitizing the public about the importance of peace, where many people today have not been understood, because at times people feel they said, but what is going on? Why is it that we are not here? Why is it that we are not there? We cannot just, we are doing what we are able to do. That we try to sensitize the public about the importance of peace. And here we are trying to train that is 250 ambassadors for the promotion of peace. So this marathon has been going around since 2016, where we were also sponsored by the Brasseries of Cameroon. After all our cries, it's not easy. We keep on sensitizing the public about the importance of peace, and some will even ask us whether they will come in and will pay. Will they have any salary or any payment or any remuneration and things like that? But we've been doing this in order to sensitize, to save at least mankind. Love. You should love one another as yourself, and then try to keep envy and hatred and things like that. We are in a country where it is very important to love one another as yourself, and it's just like we have been sensitizing the public in the northwest and the southwest region for resuming of classes, that the people should, at least the parents should allow their children, in fact, to go back to school. All this, we are doing this with our own personal effort. It's true that we work directly with the states. Then the state is accompanying us. But in the other hands, we have some other, this doesn't touch our professional aspect, but we make sure that we sensitize the public, we talk to them about the importance of peace and change the society so that, killing, harming, crime against humanity and things like that, we condemn it completely. And that's the reason we said we should be training now ambassadors of peace, 250 members, so that they comes in also and extend, our working conditions.
That's a training you're intending to carry
throughout
the country.
Yes, to carry out the whole, the 10 region of Cameroon.
Okay.
Yeah.
You started some action.
Yes,
already.
we started from, we went to the north in Garoua at Hotel Benue. We did a lot, and we went as far to Hotel Mezao in the far north. We did a lot. We sensitized the people, and we went to Ebolova. We did the similar exercise, and I think the 2017 our calendar is stated that we have to carry out this training in the whole 10 region of Cameroon. So we are waiting that the expectation we're expecting from the masses is just that we need some help. We need some help from people like MTN, Brazilians, and why not the states and many
some
others.
Help and any form of support that you can get,
so that we can be able to accompany our partners, try to see how we can sensitize the public, try to see how we can bring our ambassadors of peace so that they should convince the public, so that they should understand the importance of peace.
Thank you
right
very
in
much.
the heart of the
I need
issue.
to jump in there. Thank you very much, though. But I need to come in there because we need to move on to something else. But please, we will definitely keep track of what you're doing and invite you some other time to tell us how it's moving forward. It's a campaign that is long in time. So we'll get it on the program eventually. Thank you very much, Dr. Gwe Fontem Andreas, for coming.
Okay,
and
thanks very
have
much,
a beautiful
madam.
day
Thanks
ahead.
very much.
Let me give you one more of those things. Today we're feeding you with things that should build up your faith in yourself to start with. Well, this is coming from a Catholic priest who is widely known as an inspiration to people who are training to be priests. He says, to one who has faith, no explanation is necessary. And to one who has no faith, no explanation is enough. I'm talking about Thomas Aquinas. If you are in a Catholic church, or if you know something about the Catholic church, you know him. He's actually an inspiration to people who are into faith issues. Now let's take a moment. It looks like just a small moment of, no, we don't have time for that. Let's move straight into our guest for today, and he's coming with Moki Edwin Kenzeka. Moki, I feel like saying congratulations instead of saying good morning.
Because I said I was on Dua and then...
Yes, I saw your JC on Facebook.
But it was
congratulations.
bigger than the Ondua.
Yeah.
Okay, Pochi, thank you very much. And we're talking about sports. Elume Raymond is here. He's a sports analyst. Welcome, Mr. Elume.
Good morning.
I'm sure she'll be very happy. You predicted, this team can go far if this is done, this is done, this is done. Were you so happy when you saw the Lions bringing back home this trophy?
Well, happy that we finally have a fifth star on the jersey. Happy that we are the second most successful African country in the history of the AFCON. But I was pretty much afraid that maybe the success was coming in too early. I was thinking in the perspective of 2019. But Gabon and even Cote d'Ivoire just proved to us that you could be title holders or even organizers of the competition and you don't go far. So, I mean, you get what you can get at the moment. And if right now we can get our fifth title, then I think it is very good for us. I think it bodes well for the future. When I look at the upcoming fixtures that we have, the Confederations Cup qualifications for the
World Cup, especially with Nigeria.
Yes, especially with Nigeria.
In Nigeria,
yes,
and in Cameroon.
I think that this crop of players, if they are well harnessed, I think we could have a similar team from what we had from 2000 to 2004.
But what I saw is something we have not seen for a long time. This unity between the Lions and the population when they arrived at the Simale International Airport yesterday. It took about 4 hours, a distance they would have covered in 30 minutes. What do you think is making this team really thick, really proud now?
Well, I think there was a rift between the population, the fans, and the players, especially the national team. You remember when we hosted the Women's Nations Cup? I mean, there were some ladies there who were playing. I mean, you could take like Jude Ajara. I mean, most of these players, I mean, you could take them and say, okay, you could even put them in the men's national team because they weren't really playing for pride. But if you look at the effervescence that we had yesterday, I mean, even the crazy guy who was hanging on the bus, and I don't know if he was looking for selfies with the lions or anything, you could take the police motorcyclist, I mean, doing some flips with his bike. I mean, it goes right down. Look at the Minister of Youth and Civic Activities taking selfies with the players, the personnel of ADC and all that. It tells you that, I mean, they've brought back the spirit which sport carries. I mean, humility, respect, friendship, all those. I mean, now we are witnessing a change of the generation. I think these young players, this is the new Cameroon. 2017, 2018, 2019, till we achieve our emergence, I mean, we should go to the new Cameroon, which is the youth.
I'm looking at pictures of these pots and cover pots going up, and I'm looking at the joy of the people. And when you have a sports analyst like you, the question I want to ask is, should we now hope to keep this cup in 2019?
I think.
Are you positive that?
I think in 2019 we have two preparations to look out for. We should prepare for the competition itself. That is infrastructure, the hotels, hospitals, the road, everything. I mean, it should be as successful as we had for the ladies tournament. That is one part. But now the second and most important preparation is now the players. Look at Gabon. They had little or no preparation, and they crashed out of the first round.
That is preparation as far as the team is concerned.
Preparation as far as the team is concerned. What maybe some people would not know is that out of this group of 23, not all of them, the same 23, will be present in 2019. Some may lose form along the way. Some, their careers may have dwindled along the way. Some will be contented with the title that we have and that burning flame.
So
yes,
the team coach should continue scouting.
So the team coach should continue looking for players. I mean, there are players, I mean, when we play the Confederations Cup, there are certain players who are going to, I mean, it's a moving train. Football never stops. So there are certain players who are going to go out.
And where should this be done? Should the coach keep on counting on players from the diaspora because you call someone, they tell you they're not coming?
No, now places are going to be very expensive to get.
I like that. Because
we had 7 players, or let me say up to 9 players who refused to come to camp. And now if you look at all those positions, they are going to be very expensive.
If they came today, they will have problems joining it.
Yes.
But don't you think he should scout more locally, though, that we have talents that are not yet discovered?
No, I think the scouting should be also done locally as internationally. But we had 2 players, 2 or 3 players who were playing for the local championship and who didn't feature. I mean, or I could even say 4 because Mohamed Jete was transferred just last year. Jete didn't play. Jonathan Gwem, who played for Union Douala, didn't play. Georges Bokwe, who plays for Coton Sport, didn't play. Frank Boya, who recently won with Apaches of Foot, didn't play. So I think it is good that they have acquired that experience. It will serve them in their clubs. But I think we still have players, not only locally but internationally, that we should add to this team.
There's one image that I've not forgotten. Team captain Benjamin Mokanjo calling Nkulu so that they lift the trophy. What do you think was the significance, the message he was passing here? Humility or the old guard, or transition, or the old guard can still make it?
Yes, I mean, you know, the way the national team is, with the amount of young players that we have, you need some amount of experience to be able to lead them, tell them that this is how it is done. If you noticed, even during the celebrations, you had a lot of former Lions who were on the pitch. I saw Jeremy Jitap, I saw Bill Chateau. So, I mean, even among, yes, Etofis who even came to the changing room. If you look even among the staff, you have Alium Buka, Alphonse Chami, you have even Alexandre Bellinger, who was a former international player. So, it tells you that they need some amount of experience to be able to lead them into more glories. But that image for me was going back into history. I remember 1988 when we won, and then Bo Emile, who was captain, called up Roger Milla to lift the trophy. So calling Nicolas Nkulu, I think without any adjectives, I think Benjamin Mukanjo merits to be captain of this team because he treats the team with a lot of humility and respect.
Unfortunately, before we leave, one other thing that attracted me was the president of Gabon said, you cannot come here and take this trophy and just go back home.
I hear he's the reason when the arrival kept being pushed. But you might answer that in 30 seconds because that will be your bye-bye.
Well, I've read a lot of your literary books, and we should say that we also play sub-regional politics. And Ali Bongo has been playing a lot of sub-regional politics. We should make our sub-regions strong. Making our country strong makes our sub-region strong. We all use the CFA franc. So a win for Gabon is a win for the CFA franc.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Moki.
I'm Ondwa.
Yes. You want to say that today. Many people say, I'm Mokanjo, I'm Fai, and that's the team. We love you guys. You guys did it, just like the ladies did. But now I need to say it's time for news, and Martino Ndenge is around the corner. But first, a moment of advert.
Maman laisse, avec la bomba sim de Nextel, j'ai les data en soc-soc.
Comment ta connexion dans la aussi? Toi aussi. Achète une bomba sim, c'est 50 francs.
Le week-end chez Nextel, profitez de plus d'internet. Pour 1000 francs, obtenir des données 10 gigaoctets, WhatsApp gratuitement et bien plus encore.
Nextel, the best 3G network in Cameroon.
Voici venu le temps des opportunités d'affaires. Sixième salon promo du 11 au 19 février 2017 au Palais des Congrès de Yaoundé.
Madame, Monsieur, bonjour. Mardi 7 février 2017, bienvenue aux 8 heures. Dans l'agenda du jour, les Lions indomptables champions d'Afrique seront reçus tout à l'heure par le ministre des Sports et de l'Éducation physique. La cérémonie sera présidée par Ismaël Bidongpat, le chef de ce département ministériel. Elle aura lieu au ministère des Sports et de l'Éducation physique. Fête de la jeunesse, édition 2017, le village de la jeunesse, deuxième édition, ouvre ses portes ce mardi au Palais polyvalent des sports de Yaoundé et ce sera sous la houlette du ministre de la jeunesse et de l'éducation civique, Mounouna Foutsou. Et puis, les finances publiques en Afrique en question à Yaoundé, c'est à la faveur d'un forum africain à cet effet qui s'ouvre ce matin à Yaoundé, simultanément avec un forum sur l'emploi jeune. Les Lions indomptables, champions d'Afrique pour la 5e fois, ont pris leur quartier à l'hôtel Montfébé ici à Yaoundé. Benjamin Moukanjo et ses coéquipiers ont regagné le Cameroun hier lundi au lendemain d'un sacre qu'on n'espérait plus. Le film de leur arrivée à l'aéroport international de Yaoundé-Simalène nous est raconté par Joseph Gouet Amandin qui a vécu cela de bout en bout.
Le Cameroun sur le toit de l'Afrique. Le trophée de la CAN brille sous le ciel de l'aéroport international de Yaoundé-Simalène. Les Lions indomptables sont arrivés à Yaoundé ce lundi 6 février, un jour après leur sacre continental. Normal que la couronne soit présentée aux autorités, notamment à certains membres du gouvernement présents, aux côtés de leur homologue du sport et de l'éducation physique qui a conduit la délégation camerounaise en terre gabonaise. Voici donc le trophée de la CAN Gabon 2017. Les 23 Lions indomptables, leurs encadreurs, l'ont amené au Cameroun. Et ici dans la salle VIP de l'aéroport, tout le monde s'est mis d'accord. Aux abords de l'arcade de l'aéroport ce lundi, du beau monde. La communauté sportive, des fans et supporters inconditionnels sont venus accueillir les héros du 5 février à Libreville. Associations sportives et groupes de danse traditionnels ont meublé ces grands moments par leurs prestations. Et momentanément, la coupe dorée de la CAF se dilue dans la foule. C'est tout le monde qui veut se rapprocher de la couronne. Des moments ineffables dans la vie des jeunes footballeurs et supporters. Depuis 15 ans, au dernier trophée du Cameroun à la CAN, ils n'ont pas vécu cette ambiance. On comprend alors des bouchons à n'en point finir à la sortie de l'aéroport. Et même l'attente des populations tout au long de l'itinéraire que doivent arpenter les Lions indomptables. Les Lions indomptables sont champions d'Afrique et le Cameroun est en fête.
Le Cameroun est en fête et un peuple en liesse derrière son équipe de football. Et on a vu ça pour la dernière fois en 2002. Le trophée raflé par les Lions indomptables face à l'Égypte a plongé le pays dans une joie indescriptible. Du nord au sud et de l'est à l'ouest, l'on a célébré les héros du 5 février conduits par le sélectionneur belge Hugo Bross. Soirée d'une victoire des Lions à Bamenda dans la région du Nord-Ouest. C'est un reportage d'Augustin Guizarna de CRTV Nord-Ouest.
Une foule de supporters en liesse. Ici le carrefour Maïtou. Piétons, mototaximens, automobilistes agitent fanions et drapeaux national. La bière coule à flot. Bamenda célèbre ainsi le 5e sacre continental des Lions indomptables. Les habitants de la capitale régionale du Nord-Ouest sont émus de la victoire acquise face à l'Égypte.
On attendait depuis, à partir d'aujourd'hui, Cameroun a encore devenu un nation.
2 buts à 1, c'est un score qui a figuré dans les pronostics des mordus du football jusqu'à la fin de la première partie. Même le but de Pharaon n'a pas entamé le moral du 12e joueur devant son écran ici.
Pas du tout déçu parce que c'est une équipe très jeune. C'est quand même vrai que les Égyptiens sont quand même un peu mentalement plus forts que nos enfants. Mais pour moi, c'est un jeu vraiment un peu confortable. Hein. Je me dis, quand on va reprendre ça, j'espère quand même que le coach, quand même, il saura quoi dire aux enfants pour qu'on ait quand même un match un peu comme nous on veut. Même si le problème, on va le problème là, le problème est fini. C'est fini. I'm very, very happy. Yes. On va gagner le match 2-1.
Les fans de cette équipe inconnue sont restés confiants jusqu'au moment où Aboubacar Vincent inscrit le but, crucifiant ainsi l'Égypte et brisant ainsi le signe indien face au pharaon de l'Égypte. C'était alors la fête dans les rues, les débuts des boissons qui ne se sont pas désemplis jusqu'au petit matin.
Une ambiance qui fait plaisir à voir. Nous sommes déjà dans la mouvance de la fête de la jeunesse au Cameroun.
Pour un 11 février réussi, les petits plats sont mis dans les grands. Répétition des kermesses, dernier réglage pour une parade réussie, le tout sous le regard des encadreurs. Régine Gladys Le Bouddha fait le tour de quelques établissements scolaires de la ville de Yaoundé. Voici son reportage.
Le mini-orchestre sonne le ralliement des tout-petits dans cette école primaire. Chant patriotique plein les poumons, les maternelles seront les mascottes d'un programme chargé pour la fête de la jeunesse.
Demain mardi, les élèves de la maternelle vont faire l'excursion. Et mercredi, après-demain, il y aura le défilé dans le quartier du camp Cyclonca.
Noir de jouvence, le stade omnisport de Yaoundé a prêté son esplanade aux établissements de la ville. Répétition oblige.
Je suis là aujourd'hui pour les entraînements du défilé de la fête du 11.
Mais avant de faire trembler le pavé, tables rondes et activités culturelles sont au planning. Au lycée bilingue d'Essos, chacun peaufine son déhanché pour la kermesse de mercredi.
On essaie un peu de détendre l'atmosphère et recommencer les classes après.
Je suis contente parce que le 11 février, ce sera chaud. Très chaud, avec de l'ambiance.
L'ambiance dépendra un peu de l'acoustique sous les doigts de ces jeunes batteurs. Le groupe a débuté ce lundi une semaine hautement rythmée.
C'est nous les tapeurs du lycée bilingue de Yaoundé et nous allons aller taper le 8 au musée national à l'occasion du concert d'Ismaël avec le petit et ton fils.
Drapeau au vent, en avant-marche, déjà les têtes sont à la fête et sifflent le départ d'une célébration qui s'annonce pleine d'entrain.
Et pleine d'entrain, elle sera à la fête avec tout ce que les jeunes préparent là. Il y aura à voir. Le globe trotteur numérique, c'est un nouveau concept dont le but est de soutenir les jeunes porteurs de projets dans ce domaine. Ce lundi, il y a eu une rencontre entre les jeunes porteurs de projets justement et les initiateurs. Le compte rendu de Florence Guangele.
Mettre en place une plateforme technique pour le développement de l'économie numérique en faveur des jeunes promoteurs de projets. C'est l'objectif visé par le ministère des Postes et Télécommunications à travers le concept Globe Trotteur de l'économie numérique.
C'est un cyberparc où on pourra détecter de nouvelles idées, maturer les idées existantes déjà pour transformer l'idée en entreprise.
Pendant 4 jours, les experts et autres consultants en économie numérique vont recenser les difficultés auxquelles font face les jeunes promoteurs de la région du centre dans le montage et la maturation de leurs projets et leur proposer des orientations. Des rencontres business to business qui comptent booster l'économie numérique au Cameroun.
Les sessions en B2B qui sont organisées sont dans l'optique de mettre ces derniers en confiance, de lui démontrer tout le process et tout le sérieux, parce qu'en réalité, le numérique, c'est du génie, c'est de l'invention.
Au thème de cette première édition du Globe Trotteur de l'économie numérique, les jeunes promoteurs de projets en télécommunication de l'information et de la communication seront mieux outillés. Ils apprécient d'ailleurs l'initiative du mini-postel.
Que je puisse être suffisamment équipée pour pouvoir mettre sur pied dans la réalité en fait tout ce que j'ai comme idée, notamment au sujet de la création d'un site web d'information générale sur les technologies de l'information et de la communication au Cameroun.
Cette caravane de l'économie numérique va s'ébranler dans les tout prochains jours à Douala et à Bamenda.
Et voilà une très belle initiative, Madame, Messieurs, et c'est cela qui met un terme aux 8 heures de ce mardi matin. Merci d'avoir regardé. Nous serons là demain avec le même plaisir dans le cadre de Bonjour le Cameroun à 8 heures pile poil sur la CRTV. Merci de rester sur notre antenne. Nos programmes se poursuivent et à demain, 8 heures.
Thank you very much, Martin Nwandengue. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you.
But I won't let you go. Is it a watermelon, a slice of it, or banana?
La banana.
A banana. But I never really was a fan of bananas, you know. Mais tout le monde parle de banane. Why do you like bananas?
Moi, j'aime beaucoup la banane parce qu'il paraît que ça donne de l'énergie. Merci.
It is, and it's very consistent. And then you don't have to worry about weight. Yes, you're right. Good choice. Have a beautiful day. See you on Thursday. See you. Right. For those of you sending messages, let me try to go through your messages very quickly before we get our retro clip. We are having a guy called Jilin Dumbe. It's a song he sang in 1990, and it's called Things Like This. But before Things Like This, here, on Sunday, I was just crying because I was already celebrating before that day. So the tears of joy was just too much for me. This is from Miss Bangala. She's writing us from Tiko. I was with Ondoa's fan club in a snack. This is from Mercy and Bailey Mbawe. You're writing us from Boya. I'm filled with so much joy that I can't express. The Indomitable Lions have brought back the trophy to Cameroon. It all happened like a dream to me. On Sunday evening, when the Lions won the Pharaohs of Egypt, and immediately I went to the streets to join my friends in celebration. I'm sure you went with some pots and some covers of the pots as well. This is from Miriam in Boya. Hey, were you one of those with pots all over the place? Cameroonians are so authentic and so true to themselves. Please, this is one Cameroonian as well, who did a song in 1990 called Things Like This, and it just stuck, you know. Please enjoy. Shilin Dumbe. Now, if you're wondering at what point miniskirts became really trendy, it probably started in 1990 after that song came out. And before you could dance that song, you needed to check if your neck muscles are in place, right? We like that. Well, on Hello Cameroon, henceforth, you'll probably be having your retro clip, your throwback to music in those days at this time instead of earlier in the program. Now, let me get this one last message before we look at what brings money. Hello, I was watching the match on Sunday at home. I almost didn't get to my house after the Lions won the semifinals. After the Lions won the semifinals because of the crowd, my car almost got shattered. This is from Mike. A lot of people almost didn't get home. In fact, I heard the Lions took over 4 hours to get to their hotel rooms because the road everywhere, like fans all over the place. That's how joy, is at times. Now, let's talk about what brings in money. Because before you go watching a football match, you want to be sure you can pay your bills, you can pay the drinks that you're sharing and that you're drinking, and that you can come home and look at your family in the eyes and say, there is money for breakfast tomorrow, don't eat me. So you need a job. Bill Titi is right here to tell you probably how you want to get that. Titi, good morning.
Good morning, Pochi.
What were you doing on Sunday between 9 o'clock and midnight?
I was dancing. I know if you marry Mr. Lucas, I know go marry Mr. Lucas.
Did you dance that song?
Of course, I got into the studio dancing. It was just a reminiscence of my Sunday. And you're talking about the Lions leaving the airport to the hotel. It was hectic. Difficult. I was there. We spent almost the whole day at the airport, leaving the Simalan airport to their hotel at the Montpellier end. It was a whole wait for 5 hours. I mean, those who have to wait at the airport have to wait from the moment we left Simalan to get to the hotel. 5 hours. The crowd got on the roads, blocking the road. They just wanted to even touch the bus.
Just have a look.
Just touch the bus. I was let me tell you, at one point in our own car, since our car was, this kind of, well secured, they thought that there were some lions, there were some stars inside. Yeah, somebody was telling my colleague that since it looks like Abubakar Vincent, and I look like Fine Collins.
Do you? I'm not sure, but okay, that's for another day.
I was telling my friends, tell the bees 5 Collins, and they were coming, they were touching the screen, 5 Collins, and I was there boning. They saw the boy, they said, move, look at the boss.
And I hear the reason they came so late is because the Gabonese president was like, you can't dare go back home without me seeing you.
He received them, and I think that was a sub-regional solidarity.
Yes.
Gabon is Cameroon. That's just what it means to live together.
We are brothers. We were one territory at some point.
That's it.
So, but the jobs, what do we have today?
We're having this one coming from the UN volunteer program. They are looking for a human resource intern to work for a 3-month renewable period. So they say the location is Yaoundé. So you need to have either your HND or a degree in human resource management. And you need to be bilingual, you need to be computer literate, and you must be currently enrolled in the program in an institution. You must be a student undergoing studies in the domain. You may be going for further studies, or you may just be about to have your degree for those who already have their HND. Now, you go online to get the application modalities, and of course go about applying for the job. You have it on your screen. You go to the first contact indicator there, which is www.unvp/stagiaire human resource Cameroon. That's if you want to apply, but the one you have on your screen is what many people prefer I give them. That's the one that the institution, let's say the announcers or the hiring institution, comes in place to guide you in your application. So to get on the right footing, you may just go to your search engine and type jobs.help@undp.org. When you go to that first link you have on your screen, you go there, you will get just the indications, the directives, and you have to click the job title. That's human resource intern or volunteer of the UN volunteer program. So that's it for the UN volunteer program that's looking for a human resource intern. Let's now go to UNICEF. UNICEF is needing a communication specialist to take care, of course, of their communication tasks. So they're looking for those who have a master's degree in communication, in journalism, or in public relations. So if you have a degree in communication, journalism, or public relations, you've worked for 5 years, you are bilingual, and of course you master the computer let's say process, you could well apply. Deadline for the job is the 16th of February. So now you just need to go to the link you find on the screen, www. Go to UNICEF website, which is www.unicef.org. If you want to be more precise, www.unicef/Cameroon/jobs, you put communication specialist. It gives you the information just by even typing just the title of the job and indicating the organization. It gives you the information you need. Needless looking for more other details, whereas you can just do that and get to the platform. Now, you may want to also apply in this investment company in Yaoundé that's recruiting workers in diverse positions. But this morning, and for the program, I've brought out just two. I brought out, let's say, an administrative assistant and, of course, an environmentalist. So the company is called Investment. It's an investment company. It's Invest Cameroon. They are looking for administrative assistant and an environmentalist. For administrative assistant, you must have a degree or HND in secretarial duties, in human resource management, or in a related field. For environmentalist, it's precise. You must have had a degree in a domain related to environmental sciences. And if you have proof of work experience or internship experience, you put together, you put that in your application form, in application file that must consist a curriculum vitae, motivation letter, and two references. People they can call and find out more about it. When you do that, you send it to the email address you find on the screen. It's m.binzi@iedivest.com. Just go closer to your screen and copy. There are two email contacts. The one you have on the screen, use that email and you send. On my Facebook page, I will give you the details. So I think with that, we just have to wish you good luck. And I'm sure hoping that you definitely have to come back and testify if you're not coming here. Many of the jobs that we cannot have here, I will have the updates put on my Facebook page, BTT. Thank you very much, Pochi.
Thank you very much, Bill Titi. And please stop texting Pochi or any other member of the team. Bill Titi is on Facebook. Just check on Bill Titi, and you can ask him all the questions about jobs, and he'll give them to you. Bill Titi, I know banana is your favorite. You want me to help you to peel your banana?
I will never miss coming on this stage when I know I have my banana.
Out of love.
Oh my God!
I don't want
my banana is being peeled for me.
Yes,
Thank God, this one nobody will take. The other banana before I leave, people just can't give me. This one that has been peeled. I'm not giving it to you, Jerry. I'm not giving my banana.
Titi, please, with a lot of love. See you again on Thursday.
You're welcome, my dear. Thank you.
Now, let's keep talking about football, and we'll go back to Betwa, this time with Gilbert Ongene. Please just watch.
Supporters of the Indomitable Lions in Betwa did not expect the 2017 squad of the team to reach the final, talk less of lifting the trophy when AFCON 2017 kicked off last January 14th. But the turn of events in Gabon proved most football pundits and bookmakers here wrong.
At the start of this tournament, I was not even expecting them to. Even the first round, I was not expecting them. I did not expect them. But after what the boys did on the field, now I started to believe on them.
When UNRWA had to save Cameroon at the quarter final stage, I realized that we were well up to do and we had been working very well.
After beating Senegal, I was sure that this cup, we are going to come back with it here. I was sure. After Senegal, I was very sure that it is our own. Ghana, I was sure that we are going to beat them.
The 1-0 score at the first half of the Cameroon versus Egypt final, however, cast a cloud of doubt and anxiety in victory-hungry Lions fans in Betwa.
After the first goal, I was not on me, but I knew that when there's time, we are going to win.
I was very, very sure because following the profile that was shown, over CRTV, how Egypt have been winning us, drawing, making playing draw matches with us. At the end, I realized that we were coming in today to give them a good dose. So I was very, very confident of what was going to pass today.
Nicolas Nkulu's equalizer at the 60th minute of the encounter came to rekindle the hopes of the fans. Abubakar Vincent's clinical finish at the 89th minute came as the final straw, which break the back of the Pharaohs of Egypt, who hitherto had been the black horse of the Lions.
Abubakar Vincent, he has always been a bit, but today he proves that he's a very good player. Very good player.
You can see more than the population. There are more than 3,000 of people here in Cameroon, here in Betwa. So the people of joy, you can see it everywhere is population, all of the enjoyment, all the enjoyment of the football of today. So there is no one who knows that when there's a lion, there is no one who can challenge the lion. So today, the lion has made it possible for us, for that club to come here in Cameroon. So that is why we are here.
This victory, which gives Cameroon the 5th crown in top flight continental football, unleashed unprecedented celebration in the town of Betwa.
Thank you, Gilbert Ongene. And that unprecedented celebration you're talking about, it's right across the nation, national territory. It's from Marwa right down to Betwa and across. Please keep enjoying. You know, it's not always that we have a cup, a continental cup in our country. We have it here and we're enjoying. But now let's talk culture, and we have two actors in the cultural scene who are right here with me. I'll start with Nzekashu McViban, who is a writer and a journalist. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
I'm very pleased to have you on Hello Cameroon.
The pleasure is mine.
All right. In a short while, we'll be talking about your Lagos Yaoundé Exchange Program, which is a program for creative fiction. But we'll discover that in a short while. You're not alone. There's also another journalist in here, but who's not only here as a journalist, is actually more here for what he's holding in his hands. Please, let's discover Akere Maimo. Good morning.
Good morning, Pochi.
How are you?
Good morning to Cameroon.
Yes, we are happy to have you here. Please, welcome to Hello Cameroon.
It's a pleasure to be part of the rebranded Hello, which is Hello Cameroon.
Exactly. I like the word, rebranded. It's good to, rejuvenate, change your name a bit, whatever. Right. But first, with the permission of the producer, Liu Kadi, by the way, we're wearing the same colors today, Liu. Telepathy doing its thing. So let's get maybe a bit of what Akere Maimo does. There's this beautiful song he did called Cameroon Mambo Pays, and he had somebody featuring in that song who is a heavyweight in music. He's somebody who doesn't only play the guitar, but is learned and knows the guitar story and the music language. Please, let's enjoy this song, and then we'll discover the people we'll have with us in a short while. It looks like it's going to take a few seconds to come, but we'll probably have that in the course of our discussions. Let me turn to Zekashu. Yes. Do you want to tell me about this exchange program or this competition between Lagos and Cameroon that you're doing?
Sure. Thank you. So it's a creative... This exchange program focuses on creative nonfiction, which is a little known genre.
Okay.
And basically, creative nonfiction is a factual kind of writing which uses the tools of creative writing. And this project is in partnership with the Goethe Institute in Lagos, the Goethe Institute in Yaoundé, Bakwa Magazine, which I started, and Saraba Magazine in Nigeria.
Okay.
So it involves bringing writers together in a series of mentorship workshops and follow up after that.
All right. And it's ongoing already. Can you give us the dates and the places of this event?
Sure. So the call for submissions was launched earlier last month, and the deadline is the 15th of February.
Okay.
You can have more information on our website, bakwamagazine.com.
All right.
BAKWA magazine.com.
All right. But personally, though, what motivates you? What will push a talent like you? You write and you're a journalist to want to promote writing in people.
Basically, when you look at the literary ecosystems of other countries, you see that they are doing their best to push their the writing in their various countries. But there are not as many opportunities here for writers, and I know a lot of talented writers who've actually had to stop writing along the way because they think it's not financially viable. And this is one of the things, this is one of the reasons why I'm actually doing what I do, because I want people to know that writing is like any other job which can actually give you money.
Challenging, but it can give you money.
Yeah.
So any message, anything you want to say to those you're hoping to get involved in this project?
Sure. They believe in yourselves and know that the exchange program is at no expense to the writers. Everything is taken care of.
All right. Now maybe we'll get an idea of that Cameroon Mambopi song that Akere Maimo did. Maybe Leo will have that before we talk to Akere Maimo. Or rather, we have more pictures from Goethe Institute that's loading. But then we'll probably get that. Okay, well, there it's posted. Now let's have it. Where is the
sound? Tu es la lumière qui pourfend la nuit. Tu es mon espoir, ma joie de vivre. Tu es mon soleil qui brille au ciel. Cameroun, une étoile, mon pays.
Flying across the north, I enjoy the sweet Sahel. Seven reach the west, rest in peace, the grass was slow. Sailing across the coast of Caribbean and Douala. Windows gentle breeze blows along the Guinean Gulf. Equatorial rainforest of sailors in south. Evergreen they grow. Catch your rages, Cameroon. Come on, Cameroon, my family. Cameroon, my country, where, Cameroon, my stronghold. Cameroon, life, joy, and plenty.
Tu es ma lumière qui pourfend la nuit. Tu es mon espoir, ma joie et foi dans la vie. Tu es mon soleil qui brille dans le ciel. Tu es mon étoile, Cameroun, Cameroun, mon pays. Cameroun, mon pays, en te survolant, tu me laisses voir ta beauté splendide, à travers tes savanes, tes forêts, ton Sahel, le tir de ta jolie côte. À Limbé, à Kribi, à Douala. Kribi en passant par Douala, je survole au-dessus du golfe de Guinée. Cameroun, mon beau pays, tu m'offres voir ta beauté splendide dans toute sa diversité à travers ton Sahel.
Cameroun,
ça va.
Cameroun, ma patrie, Cameroun, ma forteresse, Cameroun, ma joie, foi dans la vie.
Tu es ma lumière qui pourfend la nuit. Tu es mon espoir, ma joie et foi dans la vie.
plays the guitar and he plays it superbly. Thank you very much, Akere Maimo.
Yes, it's a pleasure.
And well, if you're watching us a while ago and we're talking about this Lagos Yaoundé exchange program, you may want to know that the first part will take place in Limbe in May, and the second part, which will be the last part of the workshops, will be in Lagos in November. So you want to check out those dates, go to Goethe Institute or check out Bakwa Magazine or hook up on Facebook and get the information. But now, Akere Maimo, tell me about yourself. I know you're a journalist, but you're way beyond that. You're into a lot of things. Let me not try my luck at that. I could fail. Tell me, how would you define Akere Maimo?
I'm this multi-talented guy.
Yeah.
I am the communications manager for a project known as Champ at Care International in Cameroon. I have a background in advertising and populations, to be much more specific in terms of what I do in communication.
Okay.
A guy who loves writing. I'm a poet. I can talk a lot with Zukashu because I told him, I whispered to him that I'm working on a collection of poetry. It's something I would like to title Songs of War, Songs of Peace, and it's very much in context of what is happening in our country right now. Akere is a multi-talented person, so to speak.
You definitely are multi-talented. I mean, I know you way back, and I can see that you see him in different facets. His guitar is just one, and his voice is just one, the message is his job. But how do you put that into one person? Like, what is the trick to managing your time, getting your talent in place so nothing or should I say what?
I will tell you this culture of managing my talents and school and work started way back in primary school, especially when I was in Sacred College, Mankan. I had times when I had to, forgo preparing for a test just because I had to write a song.
Okay.
And it earned me failing a test just because I wanted to write, because I wanted to, and I was like, talents, they come in a blow, so you have to capture the ideas. So it took time, and I've been able to manage it right up to this stage.
But how did your family react? Because most of the artists will have here, they'll say, no, my parents didn't want to hear anything about my artistic side. They wanted me to go to school.
Interestingly, I was born with a silver pencil. My mom discovered that right from childhood, and she used it as a secret to keep me indoors because I lived in the quartier back in Sumomankon in Bamenda where you had a lot of Igbo guys. So she knew that if I went out in the streets, I would get stubborn. So she bought me pencils, pencil colors and papers, so I would stay home and draw. And later on, while I went to Sacred, I joined the choir. And my parents have been quite positive about that. Even my siblings, they keep coaching.
For a man like you who has a lot of facets, how is 2017 looking like? What will you be doing? Where will you be?
It's a year of prospects, and it's a year, I guess, that you discover me publicly. I've been like in the closet, so I thought it wise this year that I should come out. A lot of people has been like...
Akere Maimo says he's been in the closet for what he's been doing. You should expect something really wow coming up. But anything you want to share with those expecting to hear and see you in 2017? Any message for your fans?
It's just a message of love. It's just a message of us being together. It's just a message of always keeping, let hope be the answer for whatever we are seeking for.
Right.
Yeah.
Let hope be the answer for what you are seeking. Thank you very much, Akere Maimo, for coming. And maybe you want to do something for us? I see you touching your guitar.
Okay.
Please, over to you.
Maria, mfugo shili jeme, mlengwi vofugo rifonyo yomo, mfono wombomye junge. Maria, mtinu wokong yeme, mswiri wasaidu wo, kumria unavi junge. Mswiri wasaidu wo, kumria unavi junge. Maria, Maria, como via via la mae. Maria, Maria, como una gelif shemshie. Maria, Maria, como via via la mae. Maria, Maria, como una gelif shemshie.
like, I can't remember, could have just been going on, but you know, thank you. It's beautiful. We like on Hello Cameroon to get just a foretaste so people can come rushing to get it. Thank you so much for coming. Zekashu, Mark Viban, thank you also for coming. Strange enough, for some reasons, I'm not allowed to tell you though, but they are of the media family in total, like they've been there before. So I'm so happy to have both of you here. Please keep coming to tell us how you're impacting the culture world in your different ways. Now let's take a moment there. We'll probably go laugh a bit, but this is a remembrance of something very sad that happened in October. And MC Calvino came back to eat, but decided to remember the people with a smile. Here is our drama page. Well, it's taking a while to load. That's how it happens sometimes, but bear with us. There you go.
We don't do again. Hi. Salatel on the beat, Mr. Leo on the floor. Oh, dun dun dun.
Plus de 14 milliards de francs CFA dans les 10 prochaines années. Le ministre des Travaux publics effectue dès ce jour une descente.
Imagine Uncle Niba dying, only me all this summer, but you were a good one.
You're not serious, man. Uncle Niba died for January, and November, you cried that for January. Why the cry sleeping die so? Push on this. What's happening again?
Uncle Niba died for January. I have a radio. No.
What's happened?
So that people, when they die for a soccer train, we train kill a soccer.
Wait, my friend, wait, Eseka. Say Eseka. Eseka.
Continue. People wait train not there for Eseka. Come, they say they give them 1.5 million.
1.5 million.
1.5 million. Uncle Niba will die for October 21 for Eseka. Uncle Niba waste die, so waste die, go die for January.
Come on, waste that for.
You don't waste that.
Eseka 1 million.
1 million, 1.5, not 1, no thief my 500,000. No thief my 500,000. 1.5, 1,500,000.
Those who go ahead of us, we do remember them, and sometimes you need to hold it very close to you with a smile. Thank you very much, MC Calvino. And of course, there's a lot more of drama coming your way on Hello Cameroon. And if you're a comedian, or if you're somebody who feels touched by comedy and you want to show yourself in that light, please hook up with Hello Cameroon. We're looking for people like you who make others laugh. Now, talking about we've been talking about peace on this program and preparations leading up to Youth Day on 11th of February, and this is one more young person who is coming to share with us what he and the association is working with, is preparing for 11th of February. Prince Jam Jr., good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Excellent.
Okay, thank you for coming.
Beautiful today.
Thank you. Well, we thank God for that.
Okay.
But you're not looking bad at all, though.
Wow.
You're here for the Peace Ambassador Families Reformation International. You said it's an NGO?
Yeah, it's an NGO, youth organization.
Okay.
Yes, we came together in 2014 with an objective of working together to bring an end to racism, poverty, environmental problems, climate change, violence, and many other things.
All right.
We are determined to work together to change the soul name of youth from impossibilities to opportunities, because we do believe that it takes only the affected, the youth, to bring an atmosphere of effect that is change. If we really have to work and see, you look at the Indomitable Lions, they are the youth that are bringing the glories in Cameroon today. So if we do not implicate youth in the construction and to the fighting for emergence of Cameroon, I find it difficult that we will realize that.
You're talking about peace, and I'm interested in knowing your take on peace in this country at this time.
Yes, actually, when we talk about peace, we were not just talking about the absence of war. We're talking about other issues that can make somebody feel uncomfortable. And we believe that peace and justice are two faces of a coin. And you cannot attend the other one without passing through the other one.
Okay.
So at this point of time, we are calling on the youth to be peace-loving and law-abiding, because the glory of this nation relies on youth. You can either bring shame or glory. These are the two things that are implicated when the youth is concerned.
Okay.
And in this time, we are talking about want to call on the youth, our fellow youth, to resume classes. Because education, ignorance is causing some of us to go on the street. But if we are educated and we know exactly what we have to do at each time, we'll be conscious of what we are doing, and we'll know the moral implication of each action that we implicate ourselves in.
All right. Thank you very much for your message. I hope that it goes out there loud and clear. But this is a new year, and I'm interested in also knowing the activities of your association in the course of the year. Any plans you want to share with us?
Yes, definitely. Our plans are we are looking forward for a youth representative conference where the 10 regions will come together to discuss on how we can globally work together to see peace and sustainable development. You know, the youth and idle man is a devil's workshop. So the youth must be implicated in the economic activities. Because if we do not do that, I'm telling you that the emergence that the head of state is talking will be difficult to attain.
Okay.
You know, the youth are the working force. And if you want to make any tangible effort towards building the Cameroon of tomorrow, then the youth are the fertile grounds on which every sustainable vision should be planted in.
You're right. Thank you very much, Prince Jam Jr., for coming on Hello Cameroon.
Thank
we
you.
hope you have an exciting 11th of February.
Definitely, I want to extend greetings to Dr. Nixon Kadimu, who is the co-founder of this vision. Want to Munang Georges. Want to extend it to my spiritual father, Bishop Julius Eke, who is watching us right now. I want to thank you all. I want to say bravo to the Lions of Cameroon.
Okay. Tell me, though, do you know what FOSS is?
FOSS?
Talking about food.
Okay.
If you're talking about food, do you know what FOSS?
No.
You don't know. Okay. Please, we'll discover with me. Gwendoline Egbe met a chef who decided to cook something for us. And I know some of you have an idea what FOSS is, and I don't want to go into it. Please, let's discover or rediscover together. It's our cooking time on Hello Cameroon.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Noah Ongba Jean-Michel. Je suis le chef de cuisine au restaurant traiteur Sogot, situé à la Montagne Rouge. Aujourd'hui, on aura du FOSS. Alors, pour nos FOSS au Mosep, on a besoin...
For the ingredients, you need the FOSS, maggots gotten from palm trees, green spices, masepo to be specific for flavoring, garlic, groundnut oil, onion, tomatoes,
éventuellement du sel.
And salt.
On va passer à la préparation de nos FOSS au Mosep.
Now to the procedure. Start by cleaning the FOSS, squeezing the liquid from it.
On peut mettre des gants alimentaires ou alors les faire nettoyer simplement au moment de l'achat.
Those who have no wish to stain their nails should have gloves on, for this liquid is known to blacken the nails.
Maintenant, on va émonder nos
Next, peel and cut your tomatoes. The peel can later serve as decoration.
Voilà. Maintenant, on prendra nos oignons.
After that, is your onions, which you add to the tomatoes.
On rajoute nos émincés de tomates des émincés d'oignons sur la tomate. Maintenant, c'est le Mosep qu'on va ciseler maintenant.
Your green spices, specifically the masepo and your garlic.
On viendra mettre dans la matière grasse dans notre...
Moving over to your cooker, the first thing you do is add your groundnut oil into a pot. Then a mixture of your cut tomatoes and onions.
Pour mieux parfumer la tomate. Maintenant, on va incorporer nos FOSS ou alors nos hannetons dans la casserole.
The fourth ingredient is your FOSS.
Voilà.
Leave it to cook for about 20 minutes for the sauce to absorb the other ingredients.
Force à cuire 20 minutes à feu vif.
20 minutes after, add your chopped garlic and masipo for flavoring and the taste as well.
On remue, on remue. Oh, que c'est beau le fausse. On mettra du sel maintenant pour assaisonner nos fausses.
Not forgetting your salt.
5 minutes pour passer.
Close your pot again and leave for about 5 minutes before serving.
15 minutes après. Voilà notre plat de fausse homosep qui peut bien se consommer avec du plantain pilé ou alors du manioc ou bien du bâton pour ceux qui aiment bien les accompagnements qui sont difficiles. Bon appétit à tous.
Now you know what force is, right? It's from where I come from, they call it tumbu, like simply that. Okay, well, this is it again. We committing ourselves once again to do a better job in 2017 and well after 2017. CRTV staff speaking to you. Yes, you again. There we go.
Parce que l'info n'attend pas.
We bring it to you firsthand.
Because your life is dynamic.
Nous nous adaptons à vos attentes.
Parce que vous méritez ce qu'il y a de mieux.
We are up to date with technology. Parce que vous êtes mobile.
We bring the news to you wherever you are.
Parce que vous êtes notre miroir,
Nous vous montrerons le monde like you've never seen it before.
Parce que vos victoires sont les nôtres.
We are on all fronts.
Because you are precious.
En 2017, partageons ce que nous avons de mieux.
CRTV, au cœur de la nation.
CRTV definitely moving with you and for you in 2017. And we have the whole year to convince you we're not really hurrying for that. We're taking our time, isn't it? Don't worry. One last message, and then I'll give you a quick forecast of what lies ahead of you for today, and then that will be Hello Cameroon for today. This message from Tanyima Job Emmanuel in Bamenda. He says, I was just celebrating and crying between 9 p.m. and midnight when Abubakar finished the job. Yes, Abubakar did finish the job, isn't it? And now the cup is in Cameroon. Now, before we leave you, though, let me give you the last saying. As I said, I was going to share 5. We've had 4. This is the last one. And it's coming from an evangelist pastor, Dwight Moody. He's somebody who is credited to have had hundreds of sermons across the world before he died, and he's an American evangelist pastor. This is what he said about faith. He said, faith makes all things possible. Love makes all things easy. When you believe in yourself and you believe in something bigger than you, nothing looks impossible. Then you can go. And if you are in love, you think you try, maybe you get there. Bye-bye.